Hey everybody, this is Double Dog underscore 88. Going live, finishing up that conversation from earlier this morning. Going back to the beginning and having that conversation as to what happened and what did everyone miss. See, that's the whole issue right now. Is we talked this morning about literally the probabilities of how everything happened from the beginning, and we talked about literally what was going on. What role did they all have in common? Who was the last one to see her? Etc., etc., etc. So let's finish up that conversation. Let's see here. All right, all right. So earlier we talked about what were the facts and what were the things that made it seem like just maybe we misunderstood some of the things for facts. For example, we know that the Uber driver picked up, literally, Elise says in the house, hello. We know that the Uber driver picked up, literally, Nancy, right? We know that because they got the information, the timestamps from that. And we know that really the last person to actually see Nancy alive, by all rights, is the Uber driver. Not anybody else. Not Tommaso, not anybody else. What's going on, Paige? So the idea is that here we get into this mindset when they say to us, when we hear this information that Tommaso took back Nancy to her house when she was done from having dinner and playing games and whatnot. And we just assume, well, Tommaso's the last one to see her, but that's not really the case. Because we don't even know if Tommaso ever took her back. Let's just be frank and honest. We don't know if Tommaso took her back. You know, they talk about, well, you know, the garage door opened and the garage door closed 2 minutes later. That doesn't mean anything. Anybody can have an app to open a garage door if they want to fit that narrative into that puzzle. What you need to see from Tommaso is something of him going to Nancy's by one of the Nest cameras of people that have Nest cameras in that area of the Catalina foothills, or someone getting a picture from a camera, possibly from Nancy's Nest camera, to show that he actually dropped her off. Because if not, you can't say he actually did that. We can say it all we want, but it doesn't make it true. Okay? The reality is that literally the idea is that you have to see the proof that she was there. And now some will say, well, you know, her excuse me, her phone and her hearing aids and her purse and her wallet and all that was there in the house. Well, we're going to get to that because that could very well be, yes, that's true. But when was it at her house? When was it put in her house? Once again, you can't jump just to conclusions and think, well, because it was there, that means she was there. Not necessarily. That's not true. The reality is someone could have put that there to make it seem like she was there. Now, I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not accusing the family in this. I'm just going by what is fact and what is opinion. We all have opinions, but we don't have that many facts. The fact is, Nancy is missing. That we know. That we know. Nancy is missing. Nancy's gone. Okay? Because she's not in her house and no one knows where she's at. That's a fact. The idea that down the road, inevitably, yes, there is a 911 call supposedly by Annie to 911 to call about a missing person in her mother when she came down. But they won't let us hear that call of 911 call. They won't let us hear it. How did it sound? How was her voice? Was she calm? Was she frantic? All the things that would show signs of this person may be not seem very upset about not finding her mom at 11 o'clock in the morning when she got there. Because it was 11 o'clock in the morning. That is a fact. So then the idea goes, okay, so can we say that the 911 call? Well, that's what the sheriff said. But why won't he let people listen to, why won't he let anyone listen to that call? Is it because you can decipher a little bit about the intensity of the call? About lack of intensity, maybe? About lack of urgency? About, hey, my mom's missing, can't find her, need some help. You follow where I'm going. Good to see you, Falls. Falls is in the house. So, all I'm saying is we have to know what is a fact and what is an opinion. And I can catch myself making mistakes at times too. Okay? But it's important if you're going to know where to start in the investigation because anything before, anything after could literally mess the whole timeline. You follow me? It could literally mess up the timeline. So, saying that, if anybody thinks Tommaso took her home, that's fine. That's a good theory. That's a theory that the sheriff proposed, right? But the reality is no one has seen any video, any picture, any still picture, any they haven't shown you anything of Tommaso driving to the house, right? Annie isn't very good actor. She sounds quite fake. I mean, isn't that what we hear though? When people call a 911, they're either overly excited or they are literally motionless. But either which way, you're able to read that persona in that individual making that call, right? Is that why Nanos is not letting anybody hear that? Think about that for a minute. What would that have to do with causing an issue with the case? Ask yourself that question. If we let them hear what she said, oh my God, that's going to cause problems with the case. Why? How? How is that going to cause issues with the case? How is that going to compromise the case? If anything, it's going to show the state of mind at that point of time when the 911 call was made. Yes or no? I mean, we know that is a fact. You will be able to get an idea of what her emotions, what she was going through at that moment. How many times have you watched the movie or you heard an interview being done and you heard the person say, yeah, I called 911. Hey, yeah, I just found my husband or my wife. They're laying there. They're unalive and they're, I don't know what happened, but, I just came in the room and they were laying there. That's how I found them. Does that sound like there's any urgency in their voice? Because that's what you would be able to tell when you hear these calls. Oh my God, 911, hey, this is so-and-so this is the address. I can't find my mom. I don't know where she's at. I looked everywhere. She, there is, Maybe there's blood at the front door. Maybe they're not. Maybe they didn't see it. Who knows? The idea is that you can tell by the urgency of an individual. You need to stay calm, but definitely hear it in your voice. No doubt about it, Falls. No doubt about it. So, is that why? I don't know. That's a question. That's a question that I'm asking. But it is not a fact because we haven't heard it. That's not a fact. Let's just be honest. So now let's play this that, okay, the Uber driver was the last person to see her. He drops her off. He gives the timestamp to the Pima County Sheriff's Office, and they said, "Yeah, this is when it happened. Everything looked cordial. Everything looked fine when she got out of the vehicle, and he left." Now, did she ever make it back? That's the key. I don't know if she ever made it back. None of us know. What we know is, oh, well, there's blood at the front door. Yeah, there is. There is blood at the front door, and yes, it does belong to Nancy. It does. I get the oxygen mixed with the blood, the air bubbles and all that. I get all that. I've heard a lot of these very key experts talk about that. How close you would have to be to the ground to create that splatter at the front door. I get all that. But my point is, we just don't know if this was literally her or was it there before? Was it there literally before everything happened? Not really proof that she was in an Uber. Well, here's the thing. They can get the time, they got the timestamp, right? So that doesn't mean necessarily she was in an Uber, but here's the thing. We can say that by that timestamp and by who was ordered to pick her up, they're going to have that name of that individual, and that individual is not being told to anybody who called it. Was it Nancy? Was it Annie? Was it Tommaso? Who called Uber to pick her up? Now, no, we can't see that. But here's the thing. The timestamp will show that she was picked up. And so that means that if anything goes south, it's going to be on that Uber driver. Is it not? Or you're going to hammer his ass in questioning. Sometimes they have little cameras in their vehicles, right? Look, here it is. She's right here. I'm not saying that we saw that. I'm saying there's some things that you're just not going to know. But we can't treat it as fact. Where's the dash cam footage of the Uber? I'm not saying that there was or wasn't. I'm saying that the timestamp was given. Now, whether or not she was there, that's going to fall back on that Uber driver. I mean, literally. Think of the idea of the Uber driver taking a polygraph. Did he take one? I don't know. They didn't say if he did or not. They said the family took one at the Pima County Sheriff's Office, but they never said that the Uber driver took one. So, realistically, we really don't know. Okay? So, when did Nancy even come home? Was Nancy ever at her home? I mean, you can go back as far as you want to go. Hello, L. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of times, and even I find myself doing this, we hear something and we think, oh, well, because Nano said so, that makes it so. We know now, no, that doesn't make it so. Because he won't show you any receipts, even when it doesn't compromise the case. You know what I mean? So my whole point in this is the reality is that if they're not telling you and showing you receipts, you don't know where really to begin. That's why I'm going all the way back to the Uber driver, because we did they did say they had the timestamp of it. That's what Daniel said. Doesn't make it so, but I'm just saying, if you want to go further back, we can go further back. That's not a problem. Buttercup is in the house. Good to have you, Buttercup. So I guess the whole point is when he says that Nanos took or Nanos that Tommaso took her back home. We can go with that theory. Just doesn't make it legit, but we can go with that theory. So if we want to go with that theory, we can. But then you're going to miss everything beforehand that could have led up to where we're at. LE questioned Uber driver, and driver did provide video evidence according to Google. So that's really where we're at. So now let's say that is the point. Okay? How do we explain the blood splatter at the front of the house? I don't know how long it was there. Did the day before, like we have heard many people say, oh, blood thinners, people bleed easily. She could have went by her flowers. She could have rubbed the side of the door. We just don't know. Is that fair to say? So now we're in the point of did she make it back? Think about that for a minute. Did she make it back? And that's where it begins. That's where this whole dynamic starts to take heed. Soren says they also told us any CVD Tommaso are cleared. And there's no way in hell you can say that he can say without a doubt that they are cleared. We know that. We've done proven that. There's no way. Because you can't even show that he actually brought her back. Good point. Buttercup says, agreed. Falls. I've been wondering where A&T's kid was during this dinner. Was he there? Was she there? Did the kid see dad leave with grandma? Had the police even talked to the kid? Very good point. And they don't say anything about that, did they? That'd be easy to go ahead and justify, right? That'd be easy to go ahead and clear that. That would literally clear that dynamic out of the way, wouldn't it? So why would you want to clear that dynamic? Because you still want people to talk about other things? You want people to think in their minds like what you're telling them, but you're not showing any receipt that won't compromise the case? We can agree to disagree. Oh, no doubt. No. This is not about disagreeing. This is I'm just giving you guys my opinion on what I'm talking about today. No, there's look, we can all have our different views of opinion. That's a no-brainer. That's what this channel is all about. Okay, we're about having our own opinions and views. But I'm trying to tell you a story, and I'm trying to explain to you that you can't really see Tommaso dropping off Nancy. That's just a fact. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. We don't see it. Got you. No doubt. No doubt. I just wanted to be clear that everybody understands that just because I'm talking doesn't mean that no one else has opinions. Oh, we all have opinions, and all should be respected 1,000%. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But that's the point. So what else do we know? Well, Nano said a 911 call came in, but why won't he tell you? Is it because people would read? I mean, think about all the people you have heard talk about this case, right? Think about all the people you have watched. People that even like the interview room, people who literally have worked cases. Think of how they would shred apart literally a conversation of a 911 call that really sounded like a nothing, like there was no sense of urgency. You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at? Soaring, they may need a parent permission, but if you have nothing to hide, why wouldn't you if requested? I mean, think about that for a minute. That's a very good point. It doesn't make any sense. So the idea is that they say this happened, but we don't know if it happened. Now, if we want to go with the theory that it did, okay, that's no problem. Let's say it did happen. Let's say it did happen. Great chat, by the way. You guys are asking questions and making comments, and that's awesome. Love to see that because it puts me on my toes to make sure that I don't literally stumble and take something as a opinion as a fact or vice versa. Because I got to catch myself sometimes. L says, I don't really trust anything Nano says. I don't take any of the fact, but there were other LE too, right? Yes. Yes, there was. Well, there were others not at the very beginning because you got to remember the first deputy didn't arrive until 12:03 p.m. 12:03 p.m. That's when the first officer arrived, the first deputy, should I say. And then he had called, from what I have read and looked up, he had called for backup once he had made contact with the RP, which is a reporting party. He had made contact with them. And during that conversation, they discovered, you know, they were talking about the back doors being open, yada, yada, yada. He probably looked around. That would be what any cop would do. Yes. At that point, literally, he's going to go ahead and call it in and say, and from what I read, he did call for people, other officers to come over to give him a hand. So the idea is that, because you got to remember the call when it first came out, it was just a missing person. I mean, let me tell you, in law enforcement, missing persons are a dime a dozen. Literally, they're a dime a dozen. They happen all the time. You know what I mean? Hello, Marianne. Pay says, it would be impossible for Ellie to cover up a non-existent Uber video. No doubt about it. Agree with you 110%, Paige. No doubt about it. 110%. Marianne, High Falls, SE, L19, what is Nanos had told the investigators? I already talked to the Uber driver and it checked out. Boy, that's gonna be hard to sell, honestly, because that would incriminate him when this whole thing came out and that part came out. Well, what do you mean there, Sheriff? Oh, you have to understand, he's the sheriff, he's in charge, but he's not doing the investigation. He's got investigators doing the investigation. So whenever that sheriff goes on that property to look at the scene and there's crime tape around, they're gonna have to log him in that he was there, right? They're gonna have to. That's a crime scene. So the idea that he would, if he says something like that wasn't truthful, oh my God, that would bite him in the ass bigger than, no doubt, that would bite him in the ass. Because when this would surface, and it would, they would say, well, who'd you talk to? Well, I talked to the Uber driver. Okay, and how come you didn't let the investigation go ahead and talk to him? That's the ones who are supposed to, because they're the one handling the case. Nanos, you got to remember, is just a figurehead. That's all he is. He's in charge. He makes the decisions, but he's the figurehead. He's not the investigator. He can tell investigators, "Hey, we need to hurry up and get this house released to the family," if he wants. He can say, "Hey, we're not going to do no more searching after 48 hours like he did." But the fact of the matter is, he is not investigating the case. That's why he has investigators doing that. You follow what I'm saying? I know it's kind of complex, but that's really how it works. Oh my God, says Paige, dog, we can't focus because of this huge argument over the Uber driver. It's not an argument. We just have different takes. No doubt about it. Marianne, where are you at? Let me see. Marianne said, "Hi, Falls." Marianne said, "Hi, DD." Marianne, where's your question? I don't see it here. Paige, did you ask DD my question? Ask me that question. What did she say? Paige, waited for you, Marianne. All right, I'm here. What's the question, Marianne? Hello, Groundsky. Oh no, Lisa Page looks meant. No, it's all good, everybody. We just had different views of opinion. It's no big deal. It's too early to get mad. So, what's your question, Marianne? Groundsky says hello, everyone. Yes, 1985. Yes. Paige says yes, Marianne. Marianne, I'm sorry, Lisa. Case. SE says, but just like he said, A and T were cleared. And we know there's no, I can tell you for a fact, until I'm blue in the face, there is no way that A and T are going to be cleared. There's no way. Okay? Because you can't even show any substance. Now, unless he has those receipts, he can say that. And when this all comes to a head, he's going to have to produce those receipts, because just to say, well, yeah, I cleared it because I didn't see anything there, it's going to be his ass, literally. See, the sheriff can do anything he wants to. He has power. He can do whatever he wants. Hell, he could walk in the crime scene and tell the investigators, "Hey, listen to me. I'm going to tell you how to do this." But the truth of it is, he's not the investigator. Could he bully people around? Well, that's pretty evident. We all seen that, right? We've seen his mannerisms. We've seen his past history. But I don't want to get into the weeds here, but the reality is, he misspoke and he made a mistake. Very possible. Okay, DD, I have a question. Tell me. I've been waiting, Marianne. But he's not the dumb. He's not that dumb. I mean, come on, man. I agree. I agree. Get real, says Pay. Falls. No one is clear. Nanos has contradicted himself numerous times, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Distractions, distractions. Alyssa says, hey, y'all, I love you. Bacon. Bacon is a key word. Amen. Love bacon. Happy to love you. Marianne says, I know Annie's son is a minor, but do you think Ellie questioned him? Do I think? Well, not without the consent of mom and dad, or mom or dad, should I say. Not without either one of theirs consent. So, do I personally think they did or he did? This is just an opinion. I would say no. Just my opinion. And the reason I would say no is because he knows the family very well. That's why I would say no. He's going to stick to the adults. Should he? Well, he shouldn't be really talking to anybody. It should be the investigators talking to, asking them if they can talk to their son. It should be in the investigators talking, handling this case with the family, not Nano. See, that's the problem with Nanos. He puts himself in that position because he knows the family. But truth be told, he's not the investigator. He may be the head guy that calls the shots, but he doesn't investigate a case. They have investigators that are on the case. Unless he's going to put himself Sheriff Nanos slash investigator. I mean, let's be real, guys. You know? But do I think he did? No. No, I don't think he did. And the fact of the matter is, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have talked to any of. I mean, he could have talked to him for giving him comfort and being the sheriff and giving them the idea that he's doing everything he can and answer their questions at every turn of the moment. That's a for sure. But to actually investigate this case, he's not the investigator. He's got to. You got to remember, this is one person. Tucson doesn't stop because of one person. He's still got to do his every other duties that goes on. Yes, this is an important case, but he still has to do everything else. Yeah, no doubt. That's one of my favorite is BLTs. No doubt about it, Falls. Paige says, yum again. I had soup. Alyssa laughing. See what you started, Alyssa? Just said that, Marion. So I hope I answered your question, Marion. I really don't think that he talked to the son. He might have, but the reality is he's not the investigator. Do you know how many times the investigators would have to tell him stuff so that he can regurgitate it? You remember when he gave his press conference and he said, I'm not good with scripts. I'm not good at going ahead and doing scripts. Well, that's because he's not an investigator. I mean, it's not a script. You just answer the questions to the best of your knowledge. That's what you do. But you get all your information from who? Your officers, without a doubt. So, Elle says, I made homemade soup for dinner. I just ate it. Well, man, that sounds good. You guys are making me hungry. I had somebody tell me before, hey, don't eat while you're talking. And I'm like, really? Thank God, I'm in my house. Why couldn't I eat? I had beef jerky and baked potato and chips. Ooh, that sounds good. Great minds think alike, no doubt. You got it, Marianne, no problem. I hope, but I really don't think he did because the reality is, I just don't feel that that's his. He could have asked the family, but once again, I don't know why he's in putting himself so much into the case when all he's there to do is answer the basic questions. I mean, he even has a person who's supposed to be the PR person who does all the talking, who answers the questions, and who literally only says what he's supposed to say. And from what I hear, he's a pretty good individual. But even Nanos didn't even let him talk. You follow me? So, yes, they have a lot of power. But if you go in that crime scene, you're going to document who was in that crime scene every time they come to the crime scene. That is a fact. Don't care if you're the chief of police. Don't care if you're whoever you may be. It could be the Pope, and you're still going to document, hey, he was here. It's called the chain of custody, how things are recorded. Pace said, ask him again, Marianne. We're more focused again on how Marianne's sorry about that, M. Unless he answered it already. I think I did, Marianne. Laughing out loud. I'm lost. Be right back, says Paige. That's probably why Savannah has told him to kick rocks. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. You're not always lost, Marianne. Honestly, you're not. You're not. You guys are right on the money. You guys know what you're talking about. You know the questions you want to ask, and you do ask them. And I try to give you everything possible that would make sense. Yeah, I heard about that, Marianne. 3 dead shooting in San Diego. Yeah, they apparently neutralized the individual. Not really sure what neutralized means, but if they had arrested him, they would have said he was in custody. That's probably the words they would have used, that they have the suspect in custody. But being that they said they neutralized him, I would say he's probably deceased, or he became unalive by himself. Yeah, but thanks for letting us know, because yeah, I did hear about that. Living close to San Diego, yeah, I kind of spurred an interest. No, no, you're good, Marianne. You're good. No worries. That's important information, no doubt about it. But see, that's what I'm talking about. So I don't think Nanos had any business other than comforting the family, giving them the reassurance that they're going to do everything they can. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that they bring Nancy home. No rocks are going to be left unturned, that type of thing. That is his role. His role is not to investigate a case. No doubt about it. So here's the thing. Now, back to what is legit fact and what is just an opinion. And I think, because I caught myself even at times, saying something, and then I go, well, after I thought about it, I thought, we really don't know that. So for me to say, because at the beginning I was like, we know Tommaso brought her home and blah, 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 blah. But the more you hear and the more you start thinking, the more you start hearing others talk, you go, we've never seen any receipts, and he's never stated that he has receipts to show that he actually took her home. I mean, they were confused. Was it just him? Because the first time he said it, the family took her home. The family, what did he say? The family saw her inside the house. Does that mean the family actually walked in with her into the house? Walked in. Family actually walked her to her house, walked her up the stairs. I mean, the cagey words that are being used are so really not very clear, in my opinion. Cynthia's in the house. Hey, Devil Dog, I'm still reviewing. Hello, everyone. Every day I question something relating to the case. It's like you can't get away from it. You can't get away from it. Hello, Cynthia, says Paige. L says, hi, Cynthia. Lisa says, same 1985. So I'm only bringing this up because I have caught myself at times doing that. And then I hear other maybe peers of mine calling those out, and I'm like, yeah, that is true. That is very true. Mariette says, oh, every stream I went into today, people were so rude. I love this chat. Well, I'm glad you love it, Marianne. I appreciate having all of you here. That's the difference between a bunch of nonsense, in my opinion, a bunch of, look, if we want to sit down and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and just chat, how's the day going? Tell me what you think, and I'll listen, and we'll go. That's one thing. If you want to just talk about substance, that's a whole different story. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. That's why I don't come on and start, hey, this and hey, that, because that's not my cup of tea. Just saying. Yeah, this chat is an awesome chat. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. I am. I just got paid.
Bella, I'm on live.
Oh, sorry.
Like you didn't know. Okay. So that's how you really know what is going on. Hang on, everybody. Are you going, Faith? Yeah. All right. You're going to have to take it with me into the car, everybody. So that's literally what's happening right now. That's literally what's happening right now. Is we're having this thing about trying to clear up all what's literally not fact to what is fact. Okay? And to be honest, we have just a little bit of facts and a whole lot of guessing. You know what I mean? So the idea now is if we're going to go with the fact, if we're going to say that literally Nancy was at her home, how do they, because they can't just say it. But, it's one thing to say how she was, maybe for all better lack of words, how she was unalive, or how she, those things that they're not going to just say. But little things like what she did, right? Or was she gone? Or they're going to clear a lot of the minutia BS that's involved, right? That just goes. L says, yes, Lisa really makes us all critically think. Faye says, 1985. We're just going for a ride just for about 5 minutes. Marianne says, oh, are we going for a ride? Shotgun. Laughing out loud. Cynthia, hey, Lisa. And L, 198. Fall says family's the ones that said she had mobility issues. They did. Savannah said that herself. So it probably took her a few minutes just to exit the car, unless Tommaso opened the door and pushed her out. I don't know if he pushed her out, but yeah, he could have said, hit the road. I don't know what Tommaso did, if he did anything at all, if he even took her home, in all honesty. Spo's in the house. It's time for family to speak out. I think that would be very helpful. The only reason I believe that they're not talking or saying anything is because they're being told, the investigators, do not say nothing. You don't say a word. Okay? They're telling them not to say nothing. They have to telling them. To me, it's without a doubt. Now, do I know that for a fact? Of course not. But it would only make sense to me as a law enforcement individual who has done many cases. You are definitely going to go ahead and literally.
Love you.
Love you. Hey, have a good one. Okay. You are definitely going to need to go ahead and say, hey, yes, most definitely. You're going to have to literally put that in emphasis that yes. I think it's a bad move that they're not allowing them to speak. I think it's bad advice that law enforcement is not allowing them to say anything, because it's putting them in the line of fire, for lack of better words, because they can't defend themselves in anything. But what they could do is call up somebody like Cajun Navy or a nonprofit group and ask them, what is it going to take to search for our mother? They could do that, and they could request that. They could say, hey, we want you to go ahead and literally, we want you to search for her, or call somebody, because if you don't, we will. But because they're good, I don't want to say good friends, because I don't know them very well to be good friends, but obviously they know each other. That's been talked about. So just that alone, would they be reluctant to say that with somebody that they know? L says, laughing out loud, DD. Sarah Slater's in the house. Good. Nice to have you, Sarah Slater. If you guys are not subscribers, please become subscribers and be a devil pup in the channel. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Not gonna happen, says Paige, in my opinion, Spo. SE says, did I get you? Did I did you get the email from Crime Crunchy? Yes, I did. I think I did. I have to look. Cynthia, Nancy's home was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Gorgeous home, no doubt. Fall says he pulled in the garage without Nancy and threw it in reverse. That's very possible. Or he had the app. He had the app that he got his watch out and said, okay, 2 minutes. And then counted there and then said, okay, that's 2 minutes. Now close it. I'm not saying, I know it sounds like I'm leaning that he has some involvement, everybody. But don't forget, 92% of the time, it is someone that knows the victim. Okay? Let's not forget that. 92% of the time. So let's not forget that statistics show that. There's a reason why statistics have that. That number is so high because 9 out of 10, it's literally somebody who knows the family. That's not an opinion. That's a fact taken through statistics. But it's very possible he did that, Falls. No doubt. Hello, says April. Hello, everybody. Horrible thought, Falls, but I agree. In my opinion only. No doubt about it. Sarah and April in the house. Lisa Page, did you find R? Did you find R? Says Mary Ann. Lisa, did you find R? I have no idea where R, if it's the same R we're talking about. I have no idea where that guy's been. It's been crickets. Maybe he's up in California, up there by Monterey, up in the Big Sur area. Who knows? Blue, Lisa, may I chat here or are you? We're not having any of this. Blue, just chat if you want to chat. This is open to everybody. Okay? Just chat. Just tell us what you got, Kenny. Tell us what you got. He's in our backyard, says Paige. Cynthia, she lived in her home for 53 years. Kudos to her for that, no doubt. And raised 3 kids when her husband was deceased at an early age. That speaks volume, everybody. Sarah Slater, thank you. You're very welcome. Fall says, right, Lisa, I hope I'm wrong, but it takes you 56 minutes to call 911. That doesn't seem suspicious at all. I mean, think about that, everybody. 56 minutes. Literally, it took for her to call 911 at 12:03. And then it took probably 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, somewhere in there, when the deputy showed up. No doubt. Marianne says, okay, I'll be right, get back. Hey, R, I have questions for you. There you go. I'm not sure who R is, but okay. Falls in my opinion. Yes, says Cynthia. L, too many things just not making sense. I mean, astronomical amount of things just not adding up. Can't get over that, says L. No doubt. I feel you. I totally understand. I mean, he could be anywhere. Yikes. That's for sure. Oh, no. Oh, no. I know where you at, said Nano. I don't know. No one or two things, just so many things can't be coincidence. That's what we've always said in this chat. Are we saying all this is a coincidence? Of course not. It can't be coincidence. No doubt about it. Blue, you can chat here. We welcome all respectful opinions.
I really have questions for him. Don't we all? Paige says R equals Richard N. I ain't heard anything. Like I said, maybe it's the Monterey, the Big Sur in Monterey. Who knows? It's possible. Cynthia, pray for Nancy's recovery. Amen. L, ours just disappeared. The whole thing was weird too, no doubt. Prayer says Lisa. Lisa agreed. 1985, too weird in my opinion. Marianne says R. Richard. Lisa says laughing at dog RN. Falls is laughing and Marin's going, oh no, Nanos, oh no. That's a running joke, everybody. Because every time Nanos gets asked a question, he says, oh no. And he does a little emoji thing. Oh no. I'm not going to answer that. No, we're not going there. I am leaning again, laughing out towards T, but could change tomorrow. It changes all the time with me, too. I get it. I mean, I'm right now leaning that he knew something. The only role he could have played in this whole scheme, in my opinion, the only role he could have played was the puppet master, as others have stated. The puppet master. I don't think there's any other role he would have played in this if it wasn't that. Spool. We went from no suspects to 8 possible, yet nothing. Oh, I think there's more than that. I think there's like 11 or 12 people of interest. No doubt about it. But here's the thing. So let's get back on track with the facts. So let's just say that Tommaso did bring her home. Okay, let's go with that theory. He brings her home. Okay. Which way and what did... God, there's so many questions. So if he brought her home and then left and then got the phone call, Annie, saying that the mother wasn't at the church viewing the services and they were worried and she went down there. Can anybody tell me, did they go through the front door? Did they see the back gate open? Did they pull up by the garage and see the gate open so they kind of went that way and not even went to the front door? Is that possible? Did you hear Greg on the interview room talk about Porsche guy possibly having eyeliner on? Yes, I did. Porch chick. Oh my God. But think about it though, really. Think about the facts. Do we know that? Of course not. Okay, so is it probable that whoever went into that house came in through the front door, opened the back doors, propped them open because there's no footprints, right? There's no footprints anywhere. I mean, as far as behind the house, you would think you would have some footprints somewhere. Hell, if not from the perps, from everybody walking back there, but there's no footprints. Okay, so we know, is it possible they came through the front door, opened the back doors because they were going to exit through the back doors until they realized something went badly wrong in whatever this was, abduction, kidnapping, whatever you want to call it. Something went wrong and they had to hurry up and get her out ASAP, and they went through the front door. And in that process, could she have hurt her arm, or could they have literally physically hit her or done something to her to cause her to bend over and cough, for a better lack of words, blood? Totally agree, Em. Yes, Marianne, agree 100%. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. See, we can't even figure out what is a fact because they give us not anything to work with. Cute stuffed animal of their dog. That's that little. You're too observant. Oh Lordy mercy. That's the that's that little what do you call it? The new Star Wars. I can't even think of the damn name of that little creature.
Sorry, there's quite a long one.
So now we're heading back to the hacienda. Even if no one has Nancy's footage, where is the footage from the neighbors when the family rushed over? No doubt. I would have recorded from my home. Sue Ellen saw something. I mean, somehow that lady's name comes up every time. But you're right. You're definitely right. Very good point, Sproul. Very good point. Cynthia, her cheek was red from what I saw. I mean, it's very possible. Pikachu, no, not a Pikachu. Not a Pikachu. What is that thing called back there?
Oh, Baby Yoda.
Yoda, baby Yoda. That's what it is. It's a baby Yoda. It's not a Pikachu. Yes, Yoda L. Sue Ellen, laughing out loud. Yeah, that kind of looks like Sue Ellen back there. But see, that's the whole point. So, is it possible that they came in through the front door and then pushed the doors open from the inside and kind of, I don't know, what they have little booties that they put on in their feet, like the medical doctors when they're going to do surgery, they put on these little slip-ons so they wouldn't leave any footprints and put the flower pots to hold open the doors. I mean, is that possible? Here we go, swelling again, says Marianne. Awesome spool, says Lisa. The fact of the matter is, we just have to be careful because sometimes, look, I told you guys this the other day. When I looked at the front door guy, the porch guy, as we call him, okay, I thought this guy was like 5'10", 190, 200 pounds. Okay, in my mind, I was telling myself, yeah, he looks like he could be a pretty beefy little guy, like a 190, 200, easily. And I told myself, porch guy definitely is, pretty stocky built a little bit. And then I hear Nano say that this guy is 5'8" to 5'10", average build. And I said, well, what the hell is average build? Well, average build is about 160 pounds, 165 pounds. That's average build. That's not a big guy. But in my mind, I'm looking for somebody that I'm thinking of what that porch guy looks like, but it's not, because it is more like 85. It is more like 85, literally 165, 160, 165. That's really what it is. Hang on a second, going inside. It's raining here in Ohio. Hang on a second. It's raining in Ohio. So the idea now is the idea. Love you, babe. The idea now is literally. So I was confused. So this whole time I'm looking for somebody of a build of that nature. When reality, no, it's not that nature. That's not an average build. You see how I was kind of like confused because my mind was telling me one thing, but Nanos was saying something else, and it wasn't meshing. You follow me? That happens.
And then when I said average building, I look up average building, I'm seeing, probably literally, 160, 165. I was like, oh my God. God, I got this wrong big time. Cynthia says, it's raining here in Michigan. We're getting that too here in Ohio, no doubt. Probably the same rain. So now let's say that Tommaso did bring her home. Okay. Now they got there, they got the call literally at, I believe, 11 o'clock is when they got the call from the church ladies. Okay. 11 o'clock. Keep that in mind. And let's say they got there maybe what, 10 minutes later to the house, put on their shoes, drive there, they get there. So now we're looking at 11:10. Now they're going, and let's say they pull up by the garage like they normally do. If they didn't go to the front door and they saw the gate open and they went to the back, they're going to see the back gate propped open. They're going to see the doors open. But it wasn't even discovered about, according to what I read, it wasn't even discovered about the the front door with the blood splatter until they started putting up crime tape. Once they started putting up crime tape, they discovered that, and then it was like, call everybody in, type of deal. Paul says Illinois too all day, hot, humid in Maryland. So now we have to ask the question, literally. I know everybody gets tired of this, but is it possible? Look at the dynamics. When you add all that beginning things, I mean, just going down the list, everybody. We don't know who called the Uber. We have no idea who did, and they won't tell us. Okay? How's that going to conflict the case? How is that going to compromise the case? Think about that for a minute. Uber picks her up, drops her off. TC takes her home. We have no evidence that he took her home. Garage door opens for 2 minutes, then closes for 2 minutes. Porch guy, seen on the front nest camera, but no one else is seen on the front camera. No one else. No cars going by or nothing, just the porch guy. Porch guy tries to cover it up for foliage or a plant. Church ladies call Annie. Annie goes there, arrives. She arrives there. She got the call at 11. She arrived there probably, it is safe to say, probably 11:10. Okay? Cynthia says, it occurred in the darkness. It sure did. Marianne says, I really wonder what happened to Richard. He just disappeared. I'm telling you, maybe the Big Sur area. Remember, they just had something happen up there with Joanna Ruth Shields. Cynthia, how do you know this, please? And thank you. Marianne, what heck is R up to, and is he mad? Annie, arise with Tommaso. TNA, look for Nancy. They don't say which door they come in through, and no one asked him, or they won't tell us which door did they come in. Because if they had said they came through the front door, then the question would be asked, did you see the blood splatter? They could have said, oh, no, that happened a while back with Mom. That would eliminate that equation, right? Lisa, scared of R. Falls, don't say it 3 times, Marianne. Is it possible that they had all this time, TNA, that they could have propped up the doors? They could have put that phone that hearing aids and the wallet and etc. up on in the house. Is it possible that they brought that in to put it there to say, see, her stuff's all here, officer, and she's not here. Something's not right. Is that possible? I am not. Yeah, we get that. It's not like Beetlejuice, says Marianne. I'm not depressed. Oh no. They see the idea, everybody, is we're trying to figure out what really happened. Just like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry and Susan. We're all trying to figure out what happened. But we just don't have a lot of information to go to. Paul says, I don't know where I heard it, but I thought they said the front door was locked up. And that would be amazing if A and T could have said, we tried to get in the front door, we couldn't get in, we didn't have our key, so we went through the back door, and that's when we noticed everything was open. It would be nice just to hear that. That's not compromising the case. That's not having anything to do with compromising the case. You're stating literally what they said happened. But if you don't ask them, then you can't rule that out. You follow me? So then it just hangs there like it's something that you can always look at when you're in doubt. And that's what a lot of us do because that's what we do. And it's not our fault. It's that they're not clearing any of these anomalies that are happening. Paige says, I was rude to R when he pretended to be someone else. Yikes, crap. Well, I don't think he's coming all the way to Ohio. Bitcoin 9 seconds, says April. Tommy, where is the deposit? Buy. I can't get past that. Think about that. That's so true. So, DC from California sends the message to Annie and Tommaso. Okay? They sent the message about making the exchange. Did you get the Bitcoin to make the exchange for Nancy? All of a sudden, right after that, DC makes a 9-second phone call to someone. Either it's Annie or Tommaso, one of them, but they won't tell us who. My guess is Tommaso, but I'm just saying they won't tell us who. And the conversation, we don't know what was said because they won't even tell us what the conversation, right? They won't let us hear the conversation. So I did a little test and I timed it, and you all did it and you timed it. And the conversation, to be 9 seconds, went something like, did you get my message? Why are you calling me? Did you get the Bitcoin? No, don't call me. I'll let you know when we get it. And a hang up. And you guys did the timing, and it was like 9.5, 9. I think the conversation did go like that. Now, do I know that to be factual? No, that's just an opinion. That is just an opinion. I could be totally off freaking base, but it makes sense to me. After sending the message, he then calls to confirm, did you get the message? Why are you calling me? He doesn't even answer why. He just says, why are you calling me? That's my opinion that he responded that way. And then the rest is what we said. It just, I can't get over that. I can't either get over that. I am stuck on that. That is what's really starting to sell me that he very well could have been the puppet master. I don't know that to be true. That's just an opinion. That's just a thought because it's like all the dynamics are going that way. That was why are they even calling those two when the money bags individual is in New York, Savannah? You know, I mean, I don't think these people really planned anything out. I don't think they're very smart in what they're trying to do. They failed in everything they did. They did really fail. They didn't get their money. DC's probably going to go to jail for a while, and he didn't even get a Bitcoin, a half a Bitcoin at that. And yet he can't say, really, when they ask him, what do you know about this? Because he can't say, because then that just escalated the charges up. So he went from, I might have to do 6 months to a year, depending on his criminal background, to, oh my God, yeah, we were going to do this, and so was involved, and TC was involved, and Andy was involved, and guess what? Now, because she became unalive during another crime being committed, it elevates the charges. And when it's all said and done, they're probably looking at a total of, who knows, 40 to 60 years in prison, if it's a consecutive, serving consecutive. And if that happens, then they're going to plead bargain and say, "Look, we'll let you. You'll be able to see life after 20, but otherwise, you're going in for the full max." You follow me? So he can't really say anything because he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. So take the less of the two. I'll just do 6 months and we'll call it quits from here. You follow me? It's really that simple as far as that goes. Why was the note given to TMZ and not placed in the home so the family could see it when they entered? That's a good question, Spo. Better yet, why did they just not call the family and say, hey, like a real ransom, hey, this is how this is going to happen. This is how what we're going to do. This you're going to do X, Y, and Z. You're not going to get the cops involved. You're going to have my money. You're going to have it there, and we're going to release your mom. And if you don't, this conversation, we're done. We're not having this conversation anymore. We're done. Because that's really what a ransom goes. That's really how a ransom goes. They don't give you the idea that we're on the same playing field. They know you're going to want a proof of life. That they know already. They know they're going to have to show you a proof of life. Okay? But they're not going to lose control of the situation. None of these individuals seemed like they had anything in control. If it was a burglary, they got nothing. If it was a robbery, they got nothing. If it was a kidnapping, they got nothing. They got nothing because they're just not legit, in my opinion. It's just that simple. Why was the note? Me too, April. Giving note to TMZ was super odd, in my opinion. It just made no sense. If you really, truly wanted money, that's not how you were going to do it. That's not how it's done. Hell yes, asking for Bitcoin. Was really for ransom, they would have notified the family personally. They wouldn't have got the media. No doubt about it. Or they were just that stupid or unintelligent to know that that's not how you do it. I would like to think that they were just unintelligent because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Yes, that was very strange how that occurred. And then of all people, TMZ. Really? Marianne, did you and R have somewhat of a friendship? Paige says, Marianne, did you and R have somewhat of a friendship? I mean, he liked you, I think, in my opinion. No, Lisa, says Marianne. Since you were Facebook friends is why I think that. Oh my God, Marianne, you guys were Facebook buddies? Oh no. What were you thinking? Paige, okay, thanks. We weren't Facebook friends. Lisa, Mary, yeah, thank you. Cynthia, Lisa, I've been stuck on stupid from the beginning and reviewing videos that I hit the like button, and I pray I find the video soon. Keep at it, you'll get there. Paige, my mistake, Marianne, I apologize. No problem. Okay. Respect your investigating abilities, M. 100%. Falls. If he was in it with T, if that was in it with T, he better speak up and save his ass with the plea deal. I agree, Falls. No doubt. No doubt. Pays the Rockford Files PI. Cynthia, reviewing started with 3 months ago. Someone's going to let something slip sooner or later, in my opinion. That's a no doubt. It's going to happen. I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, to be honest. Marianne, I haven't looked anything up in a while, Lisa. Cynthia says, and then you all tell me if it's AI. Interesting. Paige, I get 99% of my info from dog and sleuth intuition discussions. April, everyone is entitled to speak here. We don't accuse or put others' opinions down here. Just a reminder, thanks for all being here. Click that like, everybody. Hit that hearts. Click the like. Let's make it happen. Let's get that algorithm going. We need to hit that like. We need to get that numbers up, everybody. And Google says Paige. Thank you, April. Right? Why did they choose TMZ? Makes no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me, Paige, why they chose TMZ. Maybe because they weren't a rep. I hate to say this, but in my opinion, maybe it's because they weren't a reputable news media outlet. Like maybe, Fox News, CNN, and MSN, you know. Maybe that's why. Oh, no. I mean, think about that for a minute. Could be, says Al. I mean, it would only make sense, wouldn't it? Marianne says, oh, no. Well, I know we have people in here, and I know there's a lot of people in here. Tell us your ideas, everybody. Run and by us. Run it. Give me your opinion. Where you at, Buttercup? Tell us what you think. Where we at? Kenny, tell us what you think. Elle says, it's so strange, or they knew someone there well. I mean, that's the whole point. They wanted their 15 minutes of fame. Pretty much, Falls. No doubt. I agree with that. Help us be smarter, everybody. With more, we will become smarter. Let's hear it. Kenny, where you at? Buttercup, where are you at? Bridget, where are you at? See, that's the whole point. The idea is that literally, that's just not how it works. That is not how it works for a ransom. You don't get the police involved. You don't even bring it up. You just tell them what they need to do. You show them the proof of life, and you get your money, and they get their person, and everybody, it's a wash, and they go on their way. It just makes no sense. What about DC? What made him feel like he could call Annie and Tommaso and he could send them both a message about the Bitcoin? What made him think that that would be the way to go? They might be in the desert or in the mine searching. Could be. Growski, talking about this will take us to a higher level. No doubt, Growski, no doubt. L, when I. Yes. L says, L says, oops, when I heard they emailed TMZ, I just kept thinking, who does that? Falls. We need Nicolas Cage and Liam Neeson on this case, in my opinion. I know nothing about Bitcoin. Faye says, yes, Falls, we do. So what was the point of covering up that Nest Cam? Let's talk about the porch guy. What was the point of covering up the Nest Cam? He went there. I do see where somebody a while back had made a comment about it looked like he was trying to turn the knob to see if the door was unlocked or whatnot. I did finally see that, and I could see where someone could believe that because it looked very plausible. Can Bitcoin be exchanged for cash? Yes, it can. But porch guy, what was his motive to cover up the lens? Because he somebody ended up taking the Nest Cam off, right? So why not just pull it off? Why just not rip it off? What was the reason why he had to do all this stuff to it, only to know that you were going to take it anyway? To bring her out at the front, in my opinion, covering the camera or removing it, that is the only my opinion. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense, April. So you think she came out? Do you think she unlocked the front door? Let me ask that question. Do you guys think that Nancy came to the front door and unlocked the front door because she recognized who that person was at the front door? Paige says, I believe people who see a car in the porch guy video. Al says, thank you. Marianne says, he or she was covering up the car. Falls. If that was really worried about that camera, he would have just ripped it down. You would think, right? If it was worried about that, he would have just tore it down. He would have just ripped it right there from the get go. Do you guys think that Nancy opened the front door because she recognized who was there? Like they woke her up? They woke her up by maybe the doorbell or something to that effect. And she got up. And when she went to the front door, she looked out and she could recognize who the individual was. Do you think that's a possibility, a good possibility? Al says, yeah, bunch of people think they see a car out there. Some people see a body shape on the ground, but not me, in my opinion. I don't see know what or how yet. No, I think someone was already with her inside. So somebody was in there. Do you think somebody went in there when supposedly the Uber picked her up and dropped her off? Do you think somebody went there at that point of time? Because you probably came out of the garage, right? Do you think somebody was waiting as she walked out? Is that possible? Falls. I don't think Nancy would have opened that door. She only would have opened it if she knew who it was. Let's just say it was T, and it was like, "Mom, open the door. I got it. Something happened to A. I need you to open the door." And then she's like, "Oh, what? All star, what? Could could that have been? Is that a probability?" These are all just opinions. I'm just throwing these out there to y'all. Nancy didn't come to the door, in my opinion, says April. Okay. If she was even home, laughing out loud, says Paige. Sarah Hudak, I do not think she was asleep. Interesting, Sarah. Sarah Hudak says, I don't think she was asleep. So you're thinking what? Tell me what you're thinking. Because that's how we all get smarter here. Tell me what you're thinking. Yes, I believe that was the plan. To get her to come to the door and say, Mom, open up. Something happened to Annie. Is that what you're saying? If she did and she went out there, maybe that's why there is blood. Maybe something had already happened to her at that point. It's very possible. Very possible. Very possible, L. And I like where you're going with that, Sarah. That's a good point. That's very possible. No, they took her out of her front door. Well, but did she unlock the door is the question, Marianne. Did she unlock the door because she knew who it was, and once she opened it, all hell broke loose? Cynthia, he tampered with it using pliers and removed the camera. Interesting. I haven't even heard about pliers being used, but he did have a backpack, so he could have had a pliers with him. What makes you think it was pliers, though? Just curious, Cynthia. L says, right, Lisa, that's a good point, too. I don't know yet. I don't know. How do you know that, Cynthia, please? Wire cutters. Okay. That's possible. I mean, that is a possible scenario. But if he's going to rip it off, wouldn't he just rip it off? Why would he take his time to cut the wires off the cam when all he has to do is just yank that sucker and it's going to come right off? Help us out. Not in the porch video. Please, God, let us find Miss Nancy Guthrie. Amen. I mean, it's plausible. Was she even home? Elisa says, Amen. Pay says, are you guessing, Sarah? Tell us, Sarah, what you think. You had a good point going in there. Tell us what you think. Marianne says, yes, I believe she made it home. Okay. I mean, that's probably a fair statement, no doubt about it. I gotta go. I'll gotta pack for my girls' trip. Good night. I'll be back Friday. Please figure this out by then. All right, Falls. You have a good time. God bless you. Thanks for being here. April says, why is there no blood in the perp video? In my opinion, they brought her out the front afterwards and she fought them. That's a very good observation, April. That's very possible. Falls, okay. Cynthia, wire cutters, the tool shaped like a pointed pliers. I know what wire cutters are. I'm just thinking, but why do you need wire cutters if all you have to do is yank that thing off? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, wire cutters, sure, and they have the little pointed end, and they could use them to pliers in. I get all that. I mean, it's a very possible. I'm just wondering why do all that excessive work? You know, in the Marine Corps, we used to have something called work smarter, not harder. To me, that would be too tedious, a lot harder than just yanking that son of a bitch off, right? I mean, you know what I mean? But it is possible. L, take careful, Sarah. Just my thoughts criminally. Okay. Well, no, that's a good thought, Sarah. That's a very good point. No doubt about it. We know what wire cutters look like, in my opinion. Falls. Later, 1985, April Porsche Perp was getting ready to bring her out. That's interesting. Porsche Perp was getting ready to bring her out. That's possible. Ha ha, Nancy was a whistleblower? What does that mean, Cynthia? Ha ha, Nancy was a whistleblower. I'm not sure what that means. There's no wire cutters in the video, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sarah. L, no wire cutters visible that I saw personally. Me neither. What does that mean, Cynthia? Ha ha. Nancy was a whistleblower. I'm not sure I follow on that one. Anybody help me out? I'm not sure I understand that, but okay. If anybody knows what Cynthia's talking about, haha, Nancy was a whistleblower. What was she a whistleblower for? No idea, dog. Yeah, me neither. No idea, everybody. Talk about throwing me for a loop. I mean, literally, she had a part time job working from home, a pharmaceutical company. Okay. So you're saying she was a whistleblower for against the pharmaceutical company? Al says, I don't know what it means. I have heard the term, but it's been a long time and didn't know what it meant. Sarah, you're welcome. Do clue. Hoorah. Many personalities in these chats, no doubt about it. Sarah, no clue. Cynthia, yes. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, that's possible. I guess I'm just looking at the ha ha. That's what threw me off. But that's fine, no doubt. Very possible. Many motives, in my opinion, also, says Lisa. I don't know. I don't know. Cynthia, I heard the same. Well, enlighten us, April. What did you hear? You heard the same. Because I ain't heard nothing about that. Paige, I was born at night, but not last night. Well said, Lisa. Well said. Cynthia, she was going to testify a couple of weeks when she was. Oh, I did not know that, Cynthia. Thank you for that information. I did not know that at all. Interesting. She was going to testify a couple of weeks when she was kidnapped. I had no idea. I'll have to look that up. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Oh, that she spreads info about the company she is working for. Cynthia says yes. Okay, well, now we're getting somewhere. Interesting. April, but I have also heard it was a different Nancy Guthrie. I don't know. Damn it, boy. Or in this case, damn it, girl. Patience and tolerance practice happening at the moment. What do we know this, though? Because that really would change a lot. It would, Elf. It would change drastically. She was like a reviewer. Okay. Well, that would make sense. I mean, that would make sense, like how that narrative would fit. No doubt about it. Yes, I agree, Lisa, says Marianne. There's people trying to stir the pot, in my opinion, says Lisa. Well, here's the thing. We don't have a whole lot of information, right? We barely have a few nuggets of fact with a shitload of theory and ideas and possibilities. That's a definitely. Yep, Love and Peace says Paige. Where can we find that info though, Cynthia? Please, says L. Is there somewhere we can find that information at, Cynthia? Or April or whoever knows about that? Sarah, Nancy Guthrie used her voice or was vocal on her likes and dislikes. Well, yeah, likes and dislikes. I get that. She was very vocal. Lisa, all opinions are welcome, and I did see what is being said, true or not. We don't know. Do you know where that could have been at? Yes, Lisa says, yes, Sarah, that's true in my opinion. Interesting. Interesting. No doubt. If somebody has any information about that, please send it to my email. That would be awesome. I would love to look at that and read that over. I did hear, I heard that she was very outspoken. I heard that she was very true to her beliefs, her principles. But getting ready to testify in a big deal, I just didn't hear that. Absolutely, April. I agree 100%. That's where the whistleblower type comments are coming from, maybe. Sounds good, Sarah. Thank you. Appreciate that. So we think that she was taken out the front door. Who does that person? Who do you think that person is? Who just off the cuff? Who do you think that person, that front door person, best identifies with? Paige says, I also know that all people in all groups are not good intentions from my own life experience, April. Marianne says, I would like to see this info. So, who do you all think that first guy is? The porch guy. Who is he? Who do you think he is? In your opinion, these are just opinions we don't know, but in your opinion, who does the body structure, the eyes, the eyebrows nicely done, the possible mascara, as Greg was talking about in the interview room yesterday? Who do you think it could be? No, you're not doing anything wrong. Elisa says, of. Yes, it would be helpful to see that info, says L. Sarah, made to look like Annie's husband. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that could be. He does have that duck walk. They both seem to have that duck walk, as they call it, for a better lack of words, where they walk like a duck. The porch guy, when they put the porch guy and they put um, um, when they put Tommaso side by side, and they showed him how they were when Tommaso was walking with Annie and Savannah to the shrine in front of her house, and they put a side by side. It did look a lot like a similar walk. That's no doubt. That's always stuck in my mind. Paige, I tried to question my sources, please and thank you. That's what we do. If we can get some sources, that'd be great, just so that we can see what's we can expand on it. I think it's someone hired by one of the persons of interest we've talked about. There's no doubt in my mind, Al. You are spot on. Cynthia, researching though 4K plus video. As I was under the impression that others had seen the video too. I think he has blonde eyebrows with black pencil drawn on his eyebrows. Interesting. 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 Alyssa says Dominic keeps coming to my mind. Still something, but still I don't know. That's a very good that's very good. No doubt about it, Alyssa. I could see that. I could see that. Paige, I think April took what I said as directed at her when it was not directed at her, but I don't know. I moving along. There's nothing there. It's all good. We're just trying to figure it out. We're just trying to get more information. Sarah Hudak, yes, agreed. Alyssa, basically the crew. Well, I can understand that. I know where you're coming from now. I know where you're coming from now, the crew. They all seem like they're affiliated in some way, shape, or form. They all have that same look. They all have that same uh, aura about them. You know? It was a general statement pertaining to all groups' discussions. Cynthia, in contacts. Right, right. There's a lot of these individuals that have all the same contacts. That doesn't happen by coincidence, everybody. No doubt. Well said. Because I'm thinking that the more I'm hearing and the more I'm reading and the more I'm watching and the more I'm trying to process, Alyssa said, I don't believe in coincidence. Me neither. Not one. Cynthia, yes. Okay. I don't I don't believe in coincidence either. No doubt about it. Not at this high stakes and at this level. I don't believe in that. I mean, think of all the things that happened on this one night. Literally everything that happened. Gosh, I just get so tired of saying that. But think about it for a minute. Sarah, coincidence do not happen, in my opinion, on purpose. I mean, think about it for a minute. You have the double pack guy. Same time, during the same time, only zero point 0.4 miles away from where Nancy lived. Okay? You have the double porch guy. You have the guy that says, I am not a female. Where did that come from, you know? You have literally the lady screaming from her blue car saying, calling for help, help. All at the same time frame as when Nancy's being taken or abducted. You have a blue car that was wrecked by LD or somebody in his orbit. Possibly even some have suspected the mom is the one who crashed it, or the mom is taking blame for totaling his car so that he doesn't get blamed for it. Ironically, he has a blue Charger, which could very well be at nighttime, could be that same vehicle. Just saying, putting it out there. I believe coincidences are extremely rare anomalies, certainly not a thing when it comes to something like this. No doubt about it. I agree with that, L. You got you got these anomalies that are happening, everybody. You got the guy over the fence driving what appears that he was going to be driving, getting into a Kia Soul, white Kia Soul that they had saw earlier on one of the cams hauling ass, right? Was all that a coincidence? April says, I search and there's no evidence Nancy was involved in a whistleblowing. Google search, but I did see it somewhere. Thank you for that, April. Appreciate that. Cynthia, and nowadays you can change your eye color too. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far about the eye color. I think this very well could be. Um, I don't think it's to that extreme. I think that this person literally has black eyebrows, black eyelashes, and as Greg said on last night on the interview room, it looked like he was wearing kind of like mascara, like he was about himself. He was about the look. He had the outfit on. He had the gun in the front. It was all about the image, you know. That made a lot of sense to me. I really enjoyed that conversation last night. And nowadays, it says April news, I guess, laughing out loud. Cynthia says, "What if the getaway driver was a female? It wouldn't surprise me any, no doubt about it. I've always said there was a female involved in this little group, so that wouldn't surprise me. I would say that's a pretty good thought." April says, "Fake news, I guess." Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I agree. It very well could be a driver. The getaway could be a female, or she could be a lookout. Making sure no cars coming by that she can give them heads up. Yeah, I will keep an eye out, says Elle, about that, April. But I do think Nancy was a very outspoken and opinionated person. Think Lauren even said that on one point. Elle says, but a whistleblower, I don't know, haven't seen it. Well, I mean, April just said she Googled it and she couldn't find anything about it. And hey, I've seen stuff before on our chats, and I've seen stuff on other people's chats, and so that's where I've seen it, but I've not actually like Googled it to find it to be exact information. So that's understandable. I'm not giving that any credence anyway, to be honest. Cynthia says, "Look again, ha ha." I'm not giving that any thought, to be honest. But it's a good opinion. Yeah, I trust the mods here that they have already looked at it, and yeah, that's good enough for me. We need probably cause for suspicion, in my opinion. Well said. Cynthia says, "Oh." Pay said, "Patience." L said, "I thought poor person was a female in the beginning. Now I don't know." Well, the eyes, the nicely done eyes, the the way the eyebrows were kept up. I mean, the only thing that threw it was obviously that mustache and that goatee. But yeah, I mean, it did look very like this person took care of themselves. That it did look like. This person was very into the vanity, in my opinion. Uh, April says, "Lisa, you are fine. I take nothing personal. Okay, good. Thank you." Patty Cakes. The older you get, it just rolls off your mouth. No doubt about it, Patty Cakes. Laughing out loud, Patty. I don't disagree. That made me laugh and think about my mom and my late grandma. Not always a bad thing, though. 1985 says Paige. Patty Cake's pretty boy's eyes. Yeah, like vanity meant a lot to him. He wanted to look the part. He wanted to feel the part. He wanted to, he put on this nice costume, had the nice gun, didn't know, like, he didn't act like he knew what the hell to do with it, but he had the gun in the front right by his crotch or her crotch, and he just felt like, like it was all. But here's the thing, nothing was really gained. It was just fitting the role, that part, doing, didn't look like he had half a brain, in my opinion, just by how he acted. Like he was so, you know, dainty, barely could get up and down, had a hard time bending over, that type of thing. Paige said, Patty, yes, I agree. Patience, Maryland, Marianne says, patience. I was agreeing to the older we get comment. No doubt about it. Mary says, hi guys. Good to have you, Mary. Welcome in. Hello, Mary. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of vanity there. And, a lot of what I would call my brothers and sisters in law enforcement, my peers, um, they have said similar things about the vanity look of the porch guy. And when I see that, absolutely, it does look like this person's all about the image. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not doing anything wrong, because obviously there definitely are people who are, for for a better lack of words, they're accomplices. So yeah, they're doing definitely wrong. But I would agree with a lot of these people, and people, like I said, who have done this work before, as myself, that yeah, it does look like this person is all about them. It's about fitting that role. It's about feeling important. It's about hey, look at me. I'm a gangster. I'm a gangster. Just saying, I'm a gangster. That's a lack of brains, in my opinion. Hell says, laughing out loud. Hello, Mary. Hi, 1985. Mary. Paige, Mary, Gronsky, hello, Mary, Sleuth Fairy, hey, Double Dog, it's nice to see you. Good to see you, Sleuth Fairy. Good to have you. Thank you for being here. What's your thoughts on the porch guy? Is it vain? Is it about image? Is it about, playing the role? Is it about, I'm a gangster? Look at me, check me out? Is it all about himself? Is that why it looks like he does not have half a brain, in my opinion? Paige says, hi, Fairy. Mary, laughing out loud. It's true, dog. A gangster, yes. A gangster. He's a gangster. Gangsters are alive and well, in my opinion. In my opinion, no doubt. But yeah, I mean that's good take. What do you think? Where'd you go? So, what do you think, Sleuth Fairy? What's your take on the porch guy? L says the shrubbery stuff. I think about that a lot. I mean, he went right to it. He didn't like look for it. He just went right to it. Like he knew the layout. Like he knew where he had to go to get it. Never seen anything like that, says L. No doubt. So, what do you think about the porch guy, Sleuth Fairy? What's your take? It's like he had a plan to get the shrubbery. So odd. I don't think Porch Guy has the capacity to give a blank, and that's horrific. No, I agree. I don't think he's a very smart individual, in all honesty. I think that guy was missing half of his Happy Meal, in my opinion, for a better lack of words. Well said, Sleuth Fairy. Growski paperclip on my Nest camera, not shrubs. April, that was blocked, but I allowed it. LOL. Thank you. Norma's in the house. Good evening, DD. And beautiful Chad. Good to have you, Norma. Sarah. Sarah says, this guy we are calling not smart has us. No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that, Sarah. This guy we are calling not smart outsmarted the world for over. No, no, I don't think so. I think this guy has got away with it so far. It's only been 105 days. Yes, I agree that we have missed something, and it's not just us. FBI and everybody else have missed something. But I still don't see this guy being very intelligent. It's no different than what Greg said last night on the interview room. This guy is not very intelligent because here's the thing. He didn't get anything, right? Think about it. Did he get his Bitcoin? Did he get the money that he wanted? Did he get anything that he wanted? He failed in every aspect. Every aspect he has failed in whatever that is, whether it's, you know, robbery, whether it's kidnapping, whatever. He never got any money. So in essence, he failed. But he didn't outsmart the world. Because if he did outsmart the world, he would have got everything he came for. Not so fast. He didn't get everything he came for. Matter of fact, I would say he got nothing. He got nothing. What did he get? The fact that we can't tell who it is because he's wearing a mask and all that type of thing. Yeah, yeah, I could see that where but he didn't. He's not a successor. He's a failure. He didn't get anything. You know what I mean? I see your point that he has fooled us, but really, did he fool himself because he didn't get no money? But I can see your point. I really can. Hello, Norma, says Al. Hello, Norma Gronsky. No clue here. I'm undecided still on everything and keeping an open mind, but not too open. Norma, hello. Thank you. Says 1985. Pays. Norma, hello. L, I think the mistakes were made and things covered up. That's why it looks as if he also. Oh, no doubt in my mind, L. This was the perfect storm. No doubt about it. Sleuth Fairy says, he doesn't have the moral compass to care about what went down. Right. Totally agree with that. Totally agree with that, Sleuth Fairy. No doubt about it. Hi, Norma Patty Cakes. I think that came from Savannah's once that kind of ransom came and it goes to FBI. Yeah, I agree. Norma, 1985, do strongly agree. Sleuth Fairy, he didn't fail. He got Nancy and that was the object. No, the object was to get money, Sleuth Fairy. The object was to get money. Because if they had never tried to get money, they would have never requested anything. Okay? They tried to get money because they were asking for money. Now, if in fact it was to unalive her, then I would say yes. If they were wanting to unalive her, well, they obviously did that. So that would be a success in their eyes. But really? Then there would have to be a whole nother objective on what their whole goal was, right? In my opinion. And I feel what you're saying, and you're right to what you're saying. I'm just saying they would have to literally have gotten something that they wanted. The only thing they could have got from her was to unalive her. That's it. Because anything else short of that, they did not get. Right? Anything else, they didn't receive anything else. The only thing they got was they unalived her and they haven't been caught. But touche, 105 days is only 105 days. I think this case is going to crack sooner or later. But appreciate the comment. Absolutely. Sarah, I agree with you. I just want to see what we can't see. God, that would be so awesome. No doubt about it. Well said, Sarah. Paige, Norma, hello, Mary, Salute Fairy. Maybe and maybe not. True, true. It's all just opinion, Salute Fairy. No doubt about it. I mean, you're right. Maybe that's what they wanted was her, and they were able to get her and not get caught. That's very possible. That is very possible. But I mean, weren't there easier methods to do this? Like maybe when she's walking by herself, just grab her, take her, put her in the car, maybe, hit her over the head with something and knock her out and just take her? Wasn't there not easier ways to do this than what it appeared took a lot of luck and chance and just a lot of BS? You know what I mean? It's very possible. Was it? I don't know. I just looked up if Nancy Guthrie worked for a pharmaceutical company and it says no. Interesting. Interesting. Sleuth Ferry hired a hit, in my opinion. That's possible. I could see that. I could see they hired someone. But who was going to benefit? Was it to benefit a family member? Was it benefiting a satisfaction to the person who hired a hit? Or was it literally, I mean, what do you think it could have been, Sleuth Fairy? A hired hit. Was that to benefit from her nest egg, if you will, that she had if she was unalive? Or was it literally to just literally do away with her because of something she stood for or something she said? That's interesting. Good point, though. Good point, Sleuth Fairy. Unless the money part was a distraction, but if that was the case, why did they wait to ask for it? I don't know. It's so confusing. And this is where I get to where L why to me this this just was a combination of a lot of things. Lack of experience in law enforcement officers, 10 months is nothing, right? We know that for deputies and for officers in general, 10 months is nothing. You're just a baby coming out of the academy at that. So, lack of law enforcement, okay? A sheriff who has what appears to be a big ego, in my opinion, okay? Wanted to be the guy who solves the mystery. Okay, doesn't want help from the FBI, doesn't want help from Cajun Navy, doesn't want help from any other organization that are wanting to search for Nancy. Okay, you combine that with all the all the scenarios around the house, the dark, at night, no lights. Was just everything aligned at the same moment? With the stars and moons and everything aligned that they were able to pull this off because of all those anomalies? I don't know. It's interesting though. Terror for Savannah, that's very possible. I mean, a lot of, several people I've heard talk about that. Terror for Savannah, make her pay. For what though? That's the whole key. It'd be nice if we knew if this was a terror for Savannah, it'd be nice to know why they were terrorizing her. Like, what did she do that caused that? We probably never know, obviously, if that was the case. But I mean, you know what I mean? Just thinking outside the box, it would be nice to know what the hell, because if everybody knows that this was a terrorizing Savannah, then you would think they would want you to know why they did it. Because she badmouthed me, because she was a Democrat, because she was a Gothic, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Good points. Good points. Lisa, good work, and thank you so much. Cynthia, I agree with the previous two comments. Let's pray for Miss Nancy Guthrie right now. No one wants to live to be 84 years old, to be discarded in such a way. No doubt. Very well said. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Oh, when I say distraction, I mean a cover up type of situation. Well, more and more it's looking like there's definitely something going on. No doubt about it. Paige, all these theories are possible. No doubt. All of them. Good theories, good ideas, good opinions. Sleuth Fairy, maybe items were taken, we just don't know. That's a good possibility. That is a very good possibility. I don't even think they found that so called diary at all. But you're right. That's a very good possibility. And maybe the family doesn't even know over many years of accumulated goods. No, that's very well point. That's a good point, Sleuth Fairy. Norma, why would Nano stop talking to Savannah and the family? The only thing that would come into my mind, and it has been stated in here before, probably because they're tired and they told Nanos to go pound sand. They didn't want his help anymore. That's very possible. I could see that. I mean, wouldn't any one of us be disappointed in his effort to finding Nancy and bringing her home? I know for me, I would be like, a hell yeah, I would be disappointed bigger than crap. I would have done this a long time ago, in my opinion. Sleuth Fairy says, I like your channel and chat, Devil Dog. Thank you so much, Sleuth Fairy. Appreciate having you and everybody else in here. You guys are amazing, no doubt about it. Cynthia, all right, I'll stand up to be corrected. All right, I'll stand up to be corrected. Not sure, what, Cynthia? What are you being corrected? Hey, opinions are good, man. You got to have opinions. You got to have theories. You got to have ideas. Because here's the thing: on some of these things, everybody, you would be able to verify some of these things, you know. And when you're able to verify something that somebody gives you the details, that's how you make a detail into literally a fact. That's how you make a detail into credible or non-credible, you know. So they're all good ideas, everybody. Great ideas and questions coming in tonight, in my opinion. Appreciate it, no doubt. Me too, Cynthia. The truth will set me free. Marianne, Carlos Casanova, another nutcase. Could be. Welcome in, Carlos. Good to have you, my friend. If you are new, join and be a devil pup. Help everybody get smarter, no doubt about it. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Paige, Sarah, that's the thing. This was not the idea of Nancy. Nancy was taken against her will, and her family is begging for her return. This is what the perpetrator wanted, in my opinion, a big chaotic mess. That's well said, Sarah. I can understand that, no doubt. Very well said. That's very, very well said, no doubt. I can see that wholeheartedly. Good point, Sarah. Tarek, hey DD, how are you? Doing good, Tarek. Good to have you in here. Good to have you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. If you are new and you want to be a devil pup and help everybody get smarter, by all means, join, be a devil pup in the channel. Welcome. Everybody has a view, everybody has an opinion. No doubt about it. Paige says, be right back. Norma, thank you, DD. Yes, we do agree. No doubt. Mary says, maybe the family chose not to talk to Nanos. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe that's his way to say, you know, I'm done. And it could very well be that the family did break away from Nanos. No doubt. Cynthia says, agreed, Sarah. For all we know, S and Nan could have had it out. Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's not crazy to say. That's a very good point. Because if that was my mom and I saw this case being handled this way, first of all, I would have lost my mind. But the idea is I would have called it out big time. Mary Ann says, I agree, Dee, about the family being disappointed. Oh, no doubt. I mean, I would. Tarek says, I like your channel too. Thank you, Tarek. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like I said, every here, we're just trying to get smarter, trying to understand all different dynamics, all different perspectives, because that's really what makes everybody smarter. The more you hear, the more you're able to digest and take, and the more you can see something that you probably wouldn't have seen otherwise, in my opinion. Mary says that can be so. Yes, Mary, that can be so too, says Norma. Norma, welcome. All newscomers, glad to have you in the chat. Amen. Lisa sent Devil Dog 88 a gift membership. Thank you, Lisa. Way to step up. Appreciate you. The gift given to Cynthia. Cynthia, you are now a member. You are a devil pup. Thank you, Lisa. Your mods Googled what I saw, and Google says, no, I didn't read that, so I'll stand up to be corrected. Thank you, Cynthia. Much appreciated. You are now a double pup in the channel. Al says, Norma, agree. Glad all you are here. Kudos to everybody. L, that was so kind, Lisa. L, yep, I agree, Dee. I wouldn't have been able to keep my mouth closed. Nanos and I would have been having words, no doubt. I mean, no doubt at all. Oh, Lisa, I'm surprised. Thank you. And you got me blushing. Haha. Good to have you, Cynthia. April, Cynthia, I wasn't sure myself. Gronsky, making our chat better. Gronsky says, Lisa is making our chat better. Amen. Awesome, Cynthia. So cool. I go both ways, G. Awesome. Norma, hello, Gronsky. Mary, I just like doing my homework. That's why I look things up. No, I think it's great. You need to look things up. Hey, when I tell you guys things, don't just take my word. Look it up. Google it. That's what you need to do. The things that I talk about are things that I have dealt with in law enforcement, that I have seen, that I have went through, that I've handled, that I have dealt with. So my perspectives are just based on my experience, you know. And then of course, it's not like I don't have education behind my background, because I have quite many years, more than I care to say. But yeah, yeah, that is just a fact. But no, that's good that you're doing your homework. Appreciate it. Norma, Lisa is such a sweet person. Thank you, Lisa. I learned that from Dee Dee. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you. And I learn every day from all of you. You guys, hey, you guys make me better as well. Lisa Page, appreciate your research, M. Did anyone watch any of of last night at Nancy? I watched the interview room. It was very interesting. They had like the top guy who deals with like teaching the profiling and teaching the kidnapping. I mean, he just was so intelligent. Greg was his name. He was just so. They were all great. Don't misunderstand me. Even the other guest there was great. But I'm just saying, it was nice to see. It was really nice to see. But no, I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I saw a little bit, but I heard about something about Juanita or something getting into it with a law enforcement officer or something, or a deputy. I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, I missed that. I like fact checking. There's nothing wrong with fact checking. That is awesome. Anybody who doesn't like fact checking, well, then that's a problem because they're going to believe anything anyone says. AI, says Cynthia. Paige, Norma, thank you, but not always, but I try, but I have tried harder sometimes. Marianne, Didi, I learned a lot from you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Marianne. I appreciate you. Tarek, I watched it live at Nancy's. Interesting. So, what was the deal with Juanita and this, uh, for better lack of words, this deputy? If you don't mind, if you can remember that, if that was a part of it. Thank you, Tarek. Norma, I didn't. Too late for me. Spent the weekend with my granddaughter. Awesome. Sarah Hudak, experience is priceless. No doubt about it. You can't teach experience, everybody. You just got to go through the trials and tribulations in order to understand, in at least in everything in life, for that matter. Everything in life is about trial and tribulations and experience. You learn things because you've gone through things. And in this case, this is why I enjoy this channel and I enjoy the conversations with all of you, because it is my experience that is able to try to decipher the fact from fiction, the nonsense and the noise from reality and the truth, you know. So yeah, this is an awesome channel for me. I appreciate all of you. Oh, I had to go back and watch some I missed from last night, and Nancy's was interesting. I have to go watch it. Whose channel should I go if I want to watch everything that happened, as far as all the interactions with the law enforcement and everything else? What channel should I go check out? Juanita got a $285 parking. Ouch! Ouch! Damn it, boy! $285 parking ticket. Wow. That is, yeah, I think I would have been upset too. But man, they told everybody, do not park there. Do not park there. I get it. It's a road. I get it. It's public access and all that. And all that's fine and good. But man, that's the only downfall, is when you go ahead and challenge it, you better be willing to challenge it all the way to the top. And if Juanita takes this and challenges that ticket all the way to the top, kudos for her, because she stood on her principle. No doubt. But yeah, man, that would have, oh my Lord Jesus. Juanita got a ticket for parking there. Wow. I can only imagine. You all don't bark at me, but the family has disappointed their mother. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, fan. No doubt about it. Well said. Well said. I mean, it doesn't look good on them. But the advice they're getting is probably pretty pathetic. The advice they're getting, which I believe is coming from law enforcement and possibly even their attorneys, to me, it's just my opinion, it's bad advice. But, that remains to be seen, I guess. Paige Falls also does her own individual research, and I'm proud of you all for that. No doubt. Paige says, agree, fan. Elle says, agree, fan. Norma, 1985, is she the only one that got a ticket? Was there other people parked there? Was there other people parked there? I would like to know that. Tarek, do you know? Apparently, Juanita was warned twice to not park there. Last night, she got a ticket. Was there other people parked there by any chance, Tarek? Do you know? I'm just curious. But that's interesting. Hell yeah. I've been like, oh my God. The streamers were backing her up because she was the only one who got a ticket. There were people down the road parked there for a party. for a party. They didn't get a ticket. Juanita did. Okay. Well, that would piss me off, no doubt about it. And I would definitely fight that. I would definitely fight that. I would fight that ticket, and my cause would be, why was I singled out? Is it because I've been known to be up here? Is it because I've been known to speak out for Nancy? You know, why did I get singled out? Is it because I'm usually here? You know, I mean, I would definitely go ahead. And if they would have took pictures of the other cars that were parked there, there's a very good possibility that judge just throw that ticket out. In all honesty, Norma. Oh, okay, Tarek. Thank you, and good evening. No doubt. L. It was quite a mess, but apparently she had been warned and knows you're not supposed to park here. No doubt, she knew that. She definitely knew that. She knew that they had cracked down on that. But the idea that others were parked there, I mean, I think that judge would have thrown that out and said, well, you can't just pick and choose. You got to issue it to everybody if you're going to issue a ticket. You know what I mean? That would make sense to me. At least that's what I would expect anyway, in all honesty. Norma, gracious Gronsky, she was hard headed, sounds like, no doubt. Sarah, thank you. You're very welcome, Sarah. Appreciate you. Norma, do strongly agree, fan. Norma, Juanita, Tarek, you welcome, Norma. Norma thought there was 30, maybe wrong. Thought there was 30 people that were parked in the road and only one got a ticket. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd definitely fight that. If that's what you're saying, I definitely would fight that in a heartbeat. Tarek, the other streamers parked down the road and get a ride up. Yeah, a lot of the streamers were doing that. They would have Uber take him and drop him off, or they would have somebody take him up there, drop him off, and then that person would leave. But yeah, I agree with that. You're right about that, Tarek. No doubt. Yes, this is interesting conversation, in my opinion. No doubt about it. Tarek, Juanita was parked there for over an hour. Yeah, I mean, at some point, look, we all know that at some point, when you're marked, and what I mean by that, hear me out. When I say you're marked, look, a law enforcement, they will keep an eye on somebody if they continue to push the issue. And what I mean by that is if they continue to not comply with what law enforcement is advising or telling you, at some point they're going to mark you. In other words, they're going to look at you. They're going to wait for that car to come back again and again and again. And they'll give you that warning. Hey, if I see you here again, you're getting a ticket. All right. So that's what I mean by mark. Not like they're signaling out per se, but that they're going to keep an eye on that car. And once you are marked, my God, if you even sneeze the wrong way, you're going to be the example. And I think that's possibly what happened here. Do I think it's right? Look, law enforcement does that. They will watch somebody who has violated what they have put out, and because they have violated numerous times, they will make an example out of them. You know, that is how it's worked. I've seen it done many times. Doesn't say that it's always right, but I have seen it done. But I still would fight that if I was her. Thank you for that info, Tarek. Appreciate you. Alyssa, the kids listened and moved their car right away. Well, there you go. If they listen and move their car, then hey, I mean, that goes without saying. You know, somebody's going to be the example, and who better than somebody who's been there and has been there numerous times and would know better. Not saying I agree with it. Don't misunderstand me. Not saying I agree with that ticket, because I don't, but I could understand why somebody's going to be the example. Because all it takes is one time, right? And then people are going to stop, or people are going to say, it's not worth the headache. which also gets the point across. Juanita has a problem with Sue Ellen. Well, that goes without saying, and I think Sue Ellen has a problem with everybody, in my opinion, no doubt about it, Gronsky. Spool, she was there to reenact what happened. Got you. Got you. Understandable, Spool. Thank you for that info. Paige, I fell asleep after a long day with dog, then AJ, then shark, and dog again, and shark again. Norma. Norma says, yes, DD. No doubt about it. Gronsky, I forgot about that. I don't know if she was trying to challenge Sue Ellen about the parking, not saying it's true, but I never thought about that. Very interesting. Very interesting, no doubt. Sarah, that means Sue Ellen got the lady ticketed. That's wrong. I agree with that too, Sarah. No doubt. No doubt. So, does anybody know if the party was at Sue Ellen's house? Is that where the party was being at, or was it somewhere else? Fanflower, like 25 to 30 cars at the party, kids, but that police officer talking to J and A, Juanita and Alex, was after them. Thought they were going to get both of them. Interesting. Wow, fan low, really crazy. Interesting. Marianne, they weren't parked where Juanita was. They were parked near a corner. Got you. That's understandable. Pay says, thank you everyone for this. Absolutely. Tarek, but $285 is a lot for a parking. That is fact. Look, I've never seen a parking ticket for 285 unless it was at a one of them no parking zones, right? Or not no parking zones, but a handicap. Someone parked in a handicap, and they're usually about $500 out here in Ohio. In some places they're like 250. But the idea of $285, that is a lot for a parking ticket. I mean, gosh. Tarek, yes, that's wild, says L. Fanflower, on the next block, right, Marion. Oh Lord. So who was throwing the parties? Does anybody know? Was it Sue Ellen's place? Lisa, Terry, in my opinion. Tarek, L1. Most I ever paid for a parking ticket was $20. Yeah, those are they chop your tires and they'll mark them and then they'll come and get you if you don't move it. But the whole catch is to get out there before, obviously, watch your watch. And all you got to do is move it just a little bit to where that line of the chalk is no longer coinciding with the tire. And technically you moved it, right? that's the way to get over. But yeah, no doubt about it. Marianne, I'm done talking about Juanita. Sounds good. Tarek, more here, but not $200 plus. No doubt. That's a lot. Mary says, did they give Juanita a ticket? Yeah, they gave her a $285 ticket, according to Tarek. I missed that whole thing, says Paige. Norma, yes. Tarek, yes. That is a lot of a parking ticket, but maybe it was for attitude along with just a thought. It's possible. Oh, I can guarantee you, if it was 285, I'm sure there was a lot because of a lot of different, let's just say, mixed emotions, different views of opinion. Yeah. And what do they always say? The pen is mightier than the sword in this case. Yeah. The pen is mightier than the sword in this case. No doubt about it. Story of my life. Lisa, yeah, I fell asleep. I had to go back and watch it. Tarek, Norm, she did argue with the cops, and that's always a bad thing because you know it's going to go bad at that point. Page got it. 1985, Austin, Tarek, L1 Nanos put them up to it. Maybe. I'm sure that was very much emphasized by Nanos. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Norma, Tarek, yes. Then I do agree. It was her attitude along with it. It's very possible. I mean, I could see that if that was the case. No doubt about it. I mean, some things you just got to pick and choose your battles, and you can't just fight every battle. You have to choose and pick your battles. Tarek, Norma, yes, indeed. Not L says Tarek could be. Cynthia, L. Okay, so probably out of going out of school for the summer or something, or for the year. Basically, they're out for the summer. Yeah, I could understand that. L says, I mean, it was close by, but somewhere else. Got you. I thought Jay has a handicap sticker. Thought she was good. The police officer was a blank to Alex and to Juice. Yeah, see, when you're an officer, if you're going to issue a ticket, issue a ticket. Issue a ticket. Explain the ticket if the driver wants to hear it. If the driver says you don't need to hear, I don't need to hear it. This is not my first rodeo, or I don't want to hear it. Okay, here you go, and walk away. Walk away. As an officer, you just walk away. The idea is you don't want to sit there and argue with anybody, because it's only going to escalate and it's not going to go very well. You know. So if that was the case, yeah, I can understand that. But I also know that there is a lot of pressure on these deputies to go out and give more tickets for people that are parked there, even for a little bit, because they want to set the example. The thing is, if Juanita fights the ticket, they'll see she was warned twice. No doubt. No doubt, Tarek. No doubt. I mean, I'm not saying she's going to, I can't say she's going to literally get it tossed out. They may reduce it. I don't know how they do things in Arizona, but out here, if you have a pretty good valid excuse, even if you were warned, sometimes the judge will say, okay, it's a 285. I'm going to give you, pay $100 in court costs, or just cover court costs. If it happens again, they're going to give you a ticket, yada, yada, that type of thing. But I get it. I'm not saying it's definitely going to get thrown out, but I know that for me, who has been in law enforcement, first of all, I wouldn't even been in that situation, because I wouldn't have been parked there. Okay, I know how it works, and I know from experience that it's never good to argue with law enforcement. Like I said, the pen is mightier than the sword. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I totally can understand that. No doubt about it, Cynthia. I can understand that. The thing is, if Juanita fights the ticket, they'll see. Yeah, that's what the judge is probably going to say. Is, look, you were warned twice. I get it. Other people were parked there, but they probably didn't know the restrictions, or they probably weren't out here like you all have been out here. You guys were warned. You knew better. So I could see that. I totally could see that. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe the judge will look at the fact that if she does have a handicap sticker, maybe they'll go ahead and just kind of like, you never know how these things go. A seatbelt ticket in Minnesota is $200. Oh my God! Here in Wisconsin, it's $10. I know in Oklahoma, a seatbelt ticket was $40. And in Ohio, a seatbelt ticket was like $65 plus court costs. So you're going to pay another 65. So it's probably going to cost you for a damn seatbelt ticket about 120, $130. when you add in court costs, because they're going to charge you court costs. You know, that's where they end up. They say, well, we're going to go ahead and give you just court costs. And you think, oh, thank God. And then you find out how much court costs is, and you're like, damn, what the hell? Yeah, no doubt about it. Was it I think it sounds like it was a graduation party, or it was a, college graduation, or maybe college students just, got done with the summer and wanted to. They do that out here all the time. I get it. Graduation party a block over, DD. Thank you, Fanflower. Appreciate that. Yes, it was. According to Fanflower, it was a graduation party. Lisa Page with the emojis and the coffee to stay awake. Norma, okay, fan, you answer my question. Thank you. Cynthia, oh yeah, graduation parties. Hey now. Yeah, they're all over the place out here too. They're everywhere. I mean, and even cops will know they're having graduation parties, and they're not going to really like intervene in graduation party because they know they deal with this all the time. Something like this with Nancy is not something you deal with all the time, but graduation parties, yeah, there is a cut slack, like, hey, don't be an ass, just let them do their thing as long as they're not driving drunk. Hey, kudos, let them have their day in the sun, if you will, for a better lack of words. Tarek, fan, there was like 7 cops there. Wow. That's a lot of cops, but hey, you know, yeah, I mean, that's quite a bit, but hey, if you got them, I don't know. In my opinion, it'll solve itself out, all honesty. All kinds of excitement. Yesterday was a high energy day. Norma, yes, Didi, you nailed it perfectly. Thank you. Well said. No problem, Norma. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Most of us need a relaxed atmosphere type, a day occasionally, no matter what, in my opinion, no doubt. Cynthia, those are $1 million homes. Yeah, they're expensive, no doubt about it. And some of them people own 2 to 4 houses. That's just crazy. Nuts. Lisa, I'm enjoying the Nancy reunion atmosphere, in my opinion. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, don't we all need those days, Tarek? No doubt about it. Almost a celebration, but not really, not yet. Tarek says 65. Woohoo! Nobody was hurt, in my opinion. Fans, someone said they put chains across Nancy's driveway after the guys left this morning. Devil Dog, there was 6 sheriff trucks there last night for Sweet J. Waste of resources. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that point. I can definitely see that point. No doubt about it. If that really happened like that, yes, no doubt about it. I mean, like I said, I've worked in law enforcement for many, many, many years, and I'll tell you right now, yeah, that's just an overkill. But here's the thing, man: if they're trying to make a point, they're gonna find somebody who has literally violated what they put out because they want to send that message. I don't know how many people have gotten tickets there. I would say probably not that many, maybe a less than a handful. In my opinion, I could be wrong. But yeah, I could see why they're trying to set an example because it's a long summer, and they don't want to be out there for stupid stuff. Being the deputies. In the same token, yeah, that seems like quite a bit, and it does seem like a waste of resources. I think Nanos could utilize them deputies elsewhere. Very point well taken. Lots of WoW fan. Just for J parking. Juice told them about the party, so they had to go over there. Just sad. Find Nancy. I agree with that, fan. No doubt about it. I agree with that. No doubt about it. See, the whole purpose is, at least in my opinion, for the streamers out there is to find Nancy. That's the whole point. Okay? Now, we know she's not at her house. We do know that. So let's not kid ourselves. We know she's not at her house. But you want to make and keep awareness. And I've always said, hey, go there maybe at the morning, go there maybe an hour or 30 minutes in the middle of the day. And if you're going to be there all day, go there in the evening for an hour or so and then call it. But each streamer is different and each people will do things the way they see fit. I'm just saying that it's one thing to look for, it's another thing to report on it. It's another thing to cover it. And I get their all their ideas and reasons why, and they're all valid. They want to go ahead and not let the case, go away by the wayside, like many other cases. And I agree with that. And here's the thing: it's not illegal what they're doing. Okay, it's not illegal. Okay, they have a voice. They have a reason to be there, and it is you know it's a public street. So I mean, with that being said, yeah, you're fighting an element that at the end of the day is just going to give you headaches, and you have to figure out how else can I better serve trying to find Nancy. And you're just going to have to pick that. If you want to be one that says, I'm going to be here because it's my right, so be there. Stay there, be proud, stand tall, and do your thing. And if you're one that says, you know what, I don't want to deal with this headaches, I'm going to go somewhere else, or I'm going to go to a different spot and park somewhere else or whatever. That may be the better of the two. You just have to know what you're getting into. That's just the bottom line. You have to know what you're dealing with. And then you have to understand that in everything you do, there's always consequences for your actions. Not saying that Juanita did anything bad, not saying anybody who's there, any streamer did anything bad, just saying there's always consequences for your actions. Sometimes it's not nothing, it's not a big deal. Sometimes it's a good thing. In this case, it was a bad thing. But kudos to them for doing what they feel they need to do. That's what I say. You know, I support all these streamers. I support all these streamers. I believe in what they do. I just don't think necessarily when the law is coming down hard, sometimes you just got to pick and choose your battles. That I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that because that is at the end of the day the bottom line. Choose and pick your battles. You may be right. Oh, everybody may be right, but you still got to pick and choose your battles. Some battles, you know what, you can come and fight another day. Some battles, you have to be there. It just depends on how you see it. Thank you, everyone, for the scoop, says Paige. No doubt about it. Absolutely. Been a great chat. Great individuals. Great people. Appreciate all of you being here. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. I'm telling you, you will be better for it and you'll make everybody smarter for it. We'll all make each other smarter because that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. You're doing fine, Paige. L says, Lisa, 1985 in chat. Tarek, Didi, what's for supper? I'm thinking about, honestly, I'm thinking about a pizza, to be honest. I'm thinking about a pizza. I would do other things, but man, it's so wet outside. We got all that rain. And I'd cook on the grill some burgers. I've done that yesterday. Cooked about 18 burgers or 12 dozen burgers. That was nice. Turned out great. So but I just don't want to go out there in the wet and have to, get the grill and start grilling, even though it's not raining at this moment. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had burgers yesterday. They turned out excellent. I can grill. That I can do. It's one thing learning the Marine Corps and grilling. Hey, we can grill. Cynthia is happy. Tarek says pizza sounds good. It really, we have a pretty good pizza place in where I live, and it's a really good pizza place. I mean, it took time to get used to it, but they got better over time, and now they're a good place, no doubt about it, and it's not that expensive, So yeah, I may do that, or I just I don't know, but I think pizza would be the easiest thing. Oh, Gronsky, it was hot, hot, humid, windy, hot. Yeah, no doubt. It was, yeah, no doubt about it. So muggy right now. It's just because it's so damn hot in the rain. My gosh. And that's something about Ohio. It gets muggy. It gets really muggy. Al says, you gave me an idea. Gonna put my grill out this weekend. One of my favorite hobbies. I love grilling, Al. I love grilling. My family loves grilling. I mean, they love me grilling, and I love grilling. It's, just some days you just don't feel like it, and some days you're just like, hey, I could grill every day. In May, no doubt. No doubt about it. Pay says, yeah, already. Yeah, I've been grilling. This is not the first one. I mean, I've been grilling quite a bit. I really enjoy grilling, and everybody loves the grilling that I do. So as long as they're happy with it, I'm happy with it. But you know what? As long as I know it tastes good, that's all that matters at the end of the day. As long as I think it tastes good, I never hear them have any complaints. So hey, we're all good. Yay, already. Fan says, so hot. We need rain. Glad you got rain. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain here lately in Ohio. Almost like I feel like this whole weather climate has changed a little bit. Like almost like the equator has just shifted that nano little bit that you barely can even see. Like it's shifted a little bit because the weather this last couple of years have been really off. Longer, colder time, longer, hotter times, a lot more rain, a lot more snow. Before it was less snow. Yeah, it's just it. I don't think it knows what the hell it wants to do. L says, laughing out loud, me too, but I feel that gotta be in the mood to. That's the thing. I don't want to be out there if I'm going to be sweating a storm. I don't want to be out there in the heat and the muggy. I don't want to be out there when all the mosquitoes and everything are out there. I'm not all into that. It's got to be the right situation, no doubt. Marianne, it was 90 here today. I think in Ohio it got here as high as 88. Maybe it got a little higher, but I want to say 88 with the high. Yeah, but it was windy. It was hot. It was very, very hot. L says we went from 60 to 90 in 2 weeks. It's crazy, crazy. No doubt. It was 90. We went from 60 to 90 here too. Marianne, it's wild. Yes, it is. Pace. Sleuth said he'll be on tonight. I really enjoy Sleuth. I do. I think he knows how to he knows how to get information, and that's not easy to do. Um, I really enjoy his stuff. Uh, Monk, same thing. all of it for the most part. I mean, I obviously I listen to some more than others. I love a lot of my brothers and sisters in law enforcement because they I feel like I'm at home there because they have that same perspective for the most part. It's very unnormal that I would disagree with something, although I have not very often. I mean, it's almost seems like right in the same area for the most part. But I may watch that tonight while I'm eating my pizza. Fall says, I'm back. Got everything ready. Good to have you back, Falls. Good to have you. Today he had recent videos of other porch guys in masks on videos. Yeah, I was watching a little bit. I was gonna catch it today. He was on at 3. I think it was well, it was yeah, it was 3. And I had put the thing to remind me, and for whatever reasons, I was just really busy that I guess I just overlooked it. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it some other time. Oh, I'm sure it was. He always does a good job, no doubt. With the dap, no doubt. Marianne, did you see AJ's update on the bone? Dr. Watson emailed him. I didn't. I'm gonna have to check that out. Was it? I mean, did was it really interesting? The faith servant, the faithful servant in the house. Peace, brother. Right back at you, my brother. Peace. Good to have you in the house. Lisa, not yet, M, but I will, I promise. Fan, the guys are going to Nancy's again tonight. The sheriff will be out in force. Really think Nancy likes everyone out there. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, just like I said, you got to pick and choose your battles. That's the whole point. Pick and choose your battles, you know. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. If you are watching and you want to be a devil dog, a devil pup, should I say, in the chat, please subscribe. Help everybody get smarter together. Yeah, I would look at that and say that, fan, that, yeah, just got to be careful, because, I mean, I'm telling you, I know how it works in law enforcement, and I'm telling you, at some point you just have to literally stop and think. But hey, to each their own, in all honesty. Tarek, DD, ever listen to Police Off the Cuff on YouTube? I've listened to a lot of podcasters dealing, you know, prior, prior brothers and sisters in law enforcement. I've listened to a lot. I listened to a lot of homicide detectives. I really enjoy that. Um, but here lately, probably more so. But I do. I like that kind of stuff. I just it's a part of what I did. So I really enjoy it. If you got any recommendations, Tarek, send it to me. Email it to me. All you gotta do is ask for the email. They'll post it up there. The mods will post it. But yeah, if you got any suggestions, email it to me. I would love to check them out. But I do listen to I listen to quite a bit. I'm not gonna sit there and say I don't, because I do. Former homicide detectives listen to Police Off the Cuff. I'm gonna check that out because I think I've heard of that before. Police Off the Cuff. Matter of fact, I think I heard that from 857. I think he was talking about that the other day. Police Off the Cuff. Yeah, is that the guy that sits there at the table and he pretty much goes over what he's talking? Because that's what I think they had yesterday. I'm going to check him out. I really enjoyed it. I did listen to some of it. If it's the same one, I listened to some of it. I just remember the off the cuff, and that's what the cuff is what reminded me. But I did listen to some of it. I think the other day when I think it was 857. was having this channel on there, and he was talking, and it's really interesting, no doubt about it. Oh snap, fan. Okay, fan. Thanks for the info. Gronsky, I enjoy all the streamers, no doubt. No, that they're all good. They're all good. You know, some just relate more to others, and some don't. You know. Me too, G. Cynthia. Oh, Marianne. Enjoy them too. 100%. Brian Etnan is in New York covering a case. Is that the? Is that the? What is his name? Mangione, or the guy who unalived the health insurance guy, Mangione or whatever his name is. I think that's the one that they're doing right now, covering that case. They just had some things come out about the judge said that they could not, that the prosecutors could not use certain evidence in court. I heard that today, that they could not use certain evidence because it wasn't obtained lawfully. So it was a win for the defense. It was a loss for the prosecutors, but there's still enough there, and they had to do with the pew pew that was made on a laser type of deal. But yeah, I did catch a little bit of hearing about it, so that's probably why he's there, in my opinion. It could be something else, but yeah, I would think that's what it is. Mangione, that's it, Mangione. Buckle up, y'all, says fan. I enjoys Alex music, says Falls. Mary, hope they don't put the mask on again. Mary, yes, I didn't like that. Seemed disrespectful, in my opinion. Sorry if that offends anyone. No, don't offend me. Uh, yes, didn't like that. Seemed disrespectful. The mask. Hope they don't put the mask. What was the mask about, Mary? Pay says, Mary, yes, I didn't like that. What mask? I mean, fill me in. Is it a mask that they just put on, or what are we talking about? So that I understand. Understand everyone's opinions, no doubt. That's cool, Falls. Awesome. Mary, agree. Just not appropriate. Is it a mask that who's putting it on, and what is it supposed to signify, if you don't mind me asking? Tarek, okay. Pays the dap dog. They were reenacting the crime. I didn't think it was appropriate. I respect and like all the streamers, but that didn't seem right to me. Okay, you're talking. Okay, I got you now. I got you. Yeah, I mean, I think you don't have to go that far. In my opinion, you don't have to go that far, like to reenact something. It's not like no one knows what you're talking about. You know, if you said the perp had a mask on and he was doing this or that or the other. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but yeah, I can see your point. No doubt about it, Al. I can see your point. And that's the kind of stuff that's going to draw negative attention. That's a fact. That is a fact, Al. No doubt about it. Oh, I love them all, but I would have called them out on the mask. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Completely understandable, Marianne. Mary. In 1985, in my opinion, I definitely see your concern there. Hell, Lisa, 100%. Cynthia, yes. Tarek, glutton for punishment. No doubt about it. You didn't have to even say the punishment part. Glutton for punishment. I just had to fill that in for Tarek. Something tells me that Tarek is probably law enforcement or knows something about law enforcement. Norma, God bless each live streamer. Amen. Glad I missed it. I think, Marianne, that's it, Didi. I went blank. LOL. Right, I will have. Fan, right? It is getting people's attention. Nobody else is doing anything. So many folks stopped and talked. That's awesome. Terry Short. Cynthia says Terry Short. Norma, Alex music is awesome. Cynthia, sorry. Marianne Ski Mask. Yeah, I kind of follow. That's where you're going, no doubt. I understand. Like Porch Guy. Spo, JLR bought a mask like the Porch Guy. Yeah, I I just, like I said, I try to stick with just the facts and whatever we can get of a fact. That's what I try to do, honestly, guys. I mean, anything less would not be me. Did you get the list I sent you? Just how many scientists have come up missing over the last 15 to 20 years? I'm sure I got it. I didn't see it. Did you just send it today? I'll look at it because I look at it. I read all the emails. Um, I know we were at 16 as of the other a couple of days ago with the last one we did on the individual, Amy. And but no, I haven't. I will definitely look at that, and maybe we'll do one tomorrow on the next person. Just a little change. Yeah, he put on the mask and such. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest, but I get it. Carolina girl, it seems more like a block party to me. Cops were everywhere. Wow. Yeah, I mean, once again, it's sometimes when you advertise too much about what you're trying to do, sometimes what ends up happening is you end up waking the sleepy giant, for a better lack of words, you know, and that sometimes is not a good thing. But as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, and you know what's the probability of something being, you happening to go through something, yeah. As long as you know that, then hey, deal with the consequences. That's what I say. Norma, it went alley too far. JLR wearing the mask. I didn't agree with it. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch it. That's not something that I really. Um, yeah, I just think it causes too much. uh, It just brings too much negative attention, in my opinion. But that's just me. We're all different. Carolina girl, in my opinion, that road needs to be blocked off for residents only. Hey, I said this from day one, Carolina girl. I said this from day one, from when they first, literally, this case started. I said that road would have been blocked only for residents only. I would allow no one to go back there to drive through unless it was to pick up trash, for the from the trash people, the uh, for better lack of words. But I would have blocked that off. I wouldn't have allowed no one to be there until I was completely done with the house, with literally the looking for the forensics and all that. I wouldn't have allowed anybody to be even close. Not even allowed to be on the road unless they were passing through because they lived there. That would be my only way I would have allowed it. And they could have done it if they wanted to. Just a lack of common sense, I think. But I agree with that 110%, Carolina girl, no doubt about it. Pay says sounds like it did normal. A lot of people also agree with that today. Throughout the day, comments made. Falls, yes, yes, Norma, 100%. Cynthia, wow. Pay says I couldn't catch the scoop earlier today because I was focused on the two chats while also searching. Norma, agree, Lisa. I like watching JLR, but there isn't no control of his channel. Too many rude and hateful people on there. Yeah, you don't find that here. That's for damn sure. Fanflower, they are putting all the rocks for Nancy that were painted at the banner. So sweet.
Interesting. That's nice. No doubt. Yes, normal laughing out loud. Mary Ann, it's so weird how many are moaning about JLR and the mask, but they are okay with others cursing, playing music loud. It's crazy. Once again, it goes back to what is the purpose? You have to ask yourself, what is the purpose? What is the agenda? What is the point you are making? What is the emphasis? And you have to ask yourself, what am I doing to bring all this in the sense of to try to help keep um, Nancy's case going. So you got to ask yourself that question. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the block party, for a better lack of words. I'm not a big fan of that. Just me, my opinion. Um, but yeah, it's just you have to ask yourself, what is your point you're trying to get across? You know, and it almost feels like it's a party fest, if you will, in my opinion. I agree with you 110%, Marianne. Paige, me, Norma, Lisa, I don't know what I think. Back, Norma, for sure, my friend, always. I just think they should keep it classy no matter what, because that's going to draw the right kind. I agree. 110%, No doubt about it. 110%. Pays, that's so true. 1985. Not all attention is good attention. That is very true. Marianne says, I'm done. Why, Growski? The Juice keeps it classy. The Juice does a good job out there. I'm not going to lie. He really does keep it when he's there. I've never really seen him out of whack. Even when he was getting out and that one officer, that deputy was kind of yelling at him that he had to leave or the car had to move, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just getting dropped off." He handled himself well. Everyone's just expressing themselves. That's true, no doubt. No doubt. And that's what everybody needs to understand. Everybody's just expressing their how they feel and their opinions, but as long as they know that by expressing yourself there's also consequences for your actions. So as long as you know that, hey, don't whine and bitch and complain later because you knew what you were getting into, right? I mean, but I get it. That's true. No doubt about it. Cynthia, yes, that was sweet. And the painting of Mrs. Nancy Guthrie sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. You guys convinced me. Respectful of the situation is what's doing. It's what you're doing, helping or bringing negative. That's a fact, Falls. 110%, no doubt about it. L says Groundsky, yes, and that's why I watch every. That's why I watch every night I can. Love the juice. Awesome. That is awesome. True, false, true. Norma, this is why I love it here, DD. Everyone is so kind and sweet in here, and you take time to listen to our thoughts and theories and respond back to us. We appreciate you very much, DD. Bless you, Norma. Thank you for the kind words. I just try to do my best, guys. That's all. Normal, I agree 100%. Norma, Lisa, likewise. Fan, the guys were there with Lauren. Justice for Nancy. Amen. Nancy Falls, yes, 100% thumbs up. Absolutely. I don't ever expect everyone to agree with me, and that's okay. If we are all in the same
We are all the same. Would be a very boring world. That is fact. That is well said, Al. No doubt about it. 1985, amen. 100%. Al, we do appreciate you. Agree with Norma. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate all of you guys. You guys are what's making this channel. I mean, we're getting, little by little, we're getting more people coming in. Not as many as we were getting before, but we are getting people coming in every time we go live. There's always, 4 to 5, maybe 6 at a time. But here's the thing, it's not about the size of the channel, it's about the quality of the channel. It's about what you bring to the table. And with that being said, I think that speaks for itself, in all honesty. But thank you for the kind words. Appreciate all of you. I'm crashing out. Good night. We are leaving at 3 a.m. Falls. Be safe. Take care. And we'll see you when you get back. Hopefully Friday. God bless you. Be safe. Norma, 1985. Go Falls. Have fun and safe travels. Norma, hugs for you all, sweet family. Awesome. Marianne, have fun, Falls. Mary, do you think we will ever know the true story? I think we are going to know the true story. I mean, how true? True enough that they're going to find the people who did this or person who did this. Um, Maybe not the very integral parts, but then again, you would have to know the very integral parts in order to get the story because that's that's really the whole crux of it all, right? Nancy became unalived. Something had to have happened. So I think that story is going to come out. I really do. I'm hoping it's sooner than later because the longer it waits, it's not that it won't come out. It's just that people will eventually, by human nature, lose interest and they'll move on. And I get it. I understand people will move on because you still got to move on. You got to move on in life. So, but yeah, Mary, I think it's going to come out. I really do. I think it's going to all come out, and I think the details are going to be very graphic. I think it's going to speak volume, and yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Have a great time, Falls. Thanks, Lisa. Norma, amen, DD. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks, Marianne. Norma, Norma, safe travels, Falls. Dog and pups. You got it, Falls. Rest well, enjoy, get away, Falls. Semper Fi, Falls. You have a good one. So sad, says Mary. I agree. I totally agree. Norma with the Falls dogs. Prayers for Nancy and prayers for answers. Amen. Well said. Have fun, Falls. All right, everybody. With that, let's go ahead and call it a day. Very well done, everybody. Thank you. I know we talk about things and then we go off on different things, but hey, that's what the conversation's all about. It's just trying to go ahead and not only put information out, but bounce things off of each other. That's how you learn things. So, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all being here, and for all the people that came in that signed up to go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate all of you mods. Appreciate all of you, past and present. Thank you, everybody, for everything you bring to the table. You guys are definitely the best, in my opinion. And that's why we keep it real here. That's why we all have a voice. Good night, DD and everyone, says Marianne. Good night, everybody. Always remember, we will be back here at probably 9 in the morning. Okay? But remember this, if you remember anything I always tell you, it's all common sense. Norma says, thank you, DD and beautiful chat, for another great live stream. Everyone have a blessed day, evening, good night. It's all common sense. Remember that, everybody. We all have it. It's all common sense. Semper Fi.